I was muted. How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with session 39 of Adventures in Middle Earth. And we are joined by most of our players tonight. Just a quick, just kind of PSA for everything going forward. For the remainder of this campaign, Dain is going to be unable to be playing Valineth. We will play for the rest of this adventure. I will continue to play Valineth out, but he's no longer going to be here on stream, just so people aren't freaking out like, what's going on? Dane's fine. He streamed already earlier this week, but it's just super late for him. And so just a quick PSA, he will no longer be joining, but he is still part of this party in the meantime, and so he will be played by me. So speaking of which, I guess we could jump into some character introductions. I can introduce Valineth. Valineth is a high elf from Rivendell. He is the healer of the group. He is a scholar, and he is spending his time searching Middle Earth far and wide for hints about where his father is and the disappearance of him. He's been with this party of adventurers all the way since back in Dale, and is now currently helping with his medical skills, but also with his bow, fend off all of these orcs that are trying to overcome the party at the Ring Fort. Our next character is Theodric.
Hey everybody, I'm that Tubby Australian. I play Theodric Grimborn. He is our Slayer from Rohan. He's a young man of Rohan, and he's right now he's in the thick of things. He's kind of facing off against the big bad right now of this arc of the campaign, I suppose. And things aren't looking good for our group right now. Like they could be worse, but they could definitely be better. And I guess with that, I'll pass it over to Leah.
Perfect. And our next character is Jess.
Yes, Jess Mine Sackville Baggins to be precise. Hi everyone, my name is Leah, or SpiderFan33 in the chat if you didn't know. And yeah, I play the Hobbit of the group. I'm the designated short person. What can I say about her? She has sticky fingers and she does not want to be. Sorry.
Is she still hiding in a barrel, or
No, she's hiding behind Theodric
I
right now.
genuinely didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said
he said shank you very much.
You very much with your shanking.
You're our jabby rogue.
Yes, very, very, very sticky.
healer,
tabby.
healer. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, I am a healer. I like pies. I don't know.
She's too short to slit throats, so she has to hamstring people.
Yeah, like honestly, I just go for the Achilles. I don't hear much complaints about that.
It does the job.
It does the job. Yeah, it does the trick if I can hit it in the first place. But yeah, yeah, she's a long way from the Shire, man. She's a long way from home.
Actually, closer to her home than she's been in a long time.
It's fine. Like I was thinking more like mentally, she's a long way from the Shire. Like a long way from the Shire is relative, you know. The Easterly Inn is, I'd say, be pretty close to the Shire in just like overall vibe. But there's goblins here. She doesn't like that very much. However, she still does have some very fancy handkerchiefs and some top tier chinaware as well. So she's not doing too bad.
That's true. As long as you've got that on you, life's good.
Yeah.
Goblin here or there, it's not going to mess up unless they smash one of your plates. Then there will be hell to pay.
Oh, if there will be very much hell to pay.
And our final character, Feanor.
Hey guys, I am Nick, or Lava Crest in the chat. I'm playing Feanor, our Mirkwood Slayer, essentially a barbarian, and he's looking pretty good in this fight, so he's coming to everyone's aid. He is running across this battlefield, and he is going to dive in the thick of things just to try and keep everyone alive. Let's see how successful he is.
Absolutely, and things are looking relatively dire for our players at the ring fort, but turn by turn, hour by hour, they are slowly fending off the goblin hordes. But I am Kyle. I am the lore master of this campaign, DM, both playing with and against, very much against, I think, in this circumstance, against the players, to see how they are shaping this world of Middle-earth and helping to tell that story and narrate it as it goes. There is a lot that is going on, and it might look very chaotic for those who have no idea what's happening right now. I do recommend going to look at some of maybe the other the sessions, especially the session before this, if you're very confused. But I can catch you up and recap a little bit for you if you are confused. So, this group of adventurers, they have met along the way, forming all together with the addition of Jess as the Easterly Inn. They made their way during their last fellowship phase down to a woodman town to where they finished their last adventure, and they got to join in the Folkmoot and get to know each other a little bit more, forming this group of solid, sturdy adventurers. But after the Folkmoot, Shadrach, who was the dog of the hobbits at the Easterly Inn, came with a note saying that Dindy had not returned from his basically his trek across the Misty Mountains to restock on supplies from the Shire at the Easterly Inn. It's an inn that's run by hobbits. And so on his way back, they were beset by a number of beasts, specifically goblins, wargs, and orcs as well. And they have been fending, basically biding their time, fending off the hordes as they've been being searched for. And so the group, hot on their trail, they decided to make their way all the way up the Anduin to be able to basically cross it at the Old Ford up into the Misty Mountains towards the High Pass, where they, maybe stumbled back in time. Crazy things happened. There were ghost battles, all kinds of things. But needless to say, they found Dindy and company, and they were exhausted and seemingly on death's door with an injured Igwar, who is the guide. He's a Beorning. He is the guide. And Dindy, frantically trying to treat his wounds and feed him some food, was relieved to see the party had caught up with them, and right in the nick of time, as night by night, the goblins have been toying with them, coming up and assaulting them in small skirmish groups. But tonight was the night that the goblins were coming with all of their might, led by the dread Ubhers, a orc from the Misty Mountains. And he is coming with a vengeance. He has challenged Theodric to combat, and he is up here wanting to take some Hobbit with him for nobody knows the reason. But with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hand it over to our players. And so we were in the middle of a combat round when this happened. It was Dread Ubers' turn, and he has basically marched his way up this hill, kind of from the bottom, making his way through orcs and goblins to take one look at Theodric. He, pointing his sword to him, he challenged him to combat. And with that, we are going to go ahead and continue his turn here. So he has a feature called Aggressive, which means as a bonus action, he can move an additional basically 30 feet, which he has used. And so right before he has come up and challenged you, Theodric, he is flanked by goblins and one of his orc guards. He points his sword to you, and he dramatically says, and as he does so, there's kind of like this like spittle that it's like almost kind of like an ichor that is like coming out of his mouth as if he had just eaten something fresh. But he looks at you and he says, "Ah, look what scurried in under the cover of light. More of you little bilge rats, thinking you'd save the day. I've had my fun swatting you lot around, but now it's time to cough up what I came here for. The halfling's mine, and I'll be sure to leave a mark on him before handing him over to the boss." And he's going to go ahead and finish his movement and engage you in combat, Theodric. Jess, I'm going to have you make a stealth check for me.
Ooh, fun. Alright.
For anyone wondering what the weird face I made a little bit ago was, I have a leg cramp.
Oh no.
Oh. Pins and needles much?
Intimidation.
that's not
My
what a
roll
leg
was a natural
cramp is.
20.
Theodric's leg cramp. He falls to the ground. He needs Dinko rub.
So intimidating.
No,
but
you just need
yeah,
some
Kyle.
like herbs. You need acupuncture. That's what Jess would say.
Relieve that stress. What was your stealth roll? Sorry.
15.
15. He has not seemed to notice you. His eyes seem ablaze with bloodlust as he goes, and he takes his sword and is going to start swinging wildly at you, Theodric. He's going to make a attack with his sword. And this roll is going to be a 16 to hit.
That does not hit.
As it boom, right off of your shield, you're able to raise it just in the nick of time as you hear this wicked metal cut across the sturdy siding of your great shield. And he goes, as you hear him frantically trying to do what he can. But that brings us to Bill's turn. So Bill, if you remember, he is one of the Brelanders that is part of this caravan who is not a fighter, but he has, with the help of Andy and who's the other one, Tom, been trying to hold this ring fort for the past couple of days as Igor's been hurt, and he's been doing a good job. But he is known for his marksmanship and his bow skills. But with that being the case, he calls back to whoever will listen. Probably Theodric is not going to be too keen on hearing this, and maybe Feanor. I'm going to have, however, Valineth and Jess and Feanor, I'm going to have you make perception checks for me.
19.
13.
And Valineth got a 19 as well. As he begins backing up, he calls more into the general direction of you, Valineth, and Jesse. He says, there's more coming up the east side, and he backs up 5 feet. You do also hear this, but it is not directed specifically at you, Feanor. What should I do? And he takes his bow, and he sees that there is, as he looks kind of to his right, he sees that there are these orcs and goblins that are just marching up the main causeway, and he's trying to decide on whether to shoot into this crowd here or fight off whatever goblins are trying to climb up the side. Any of you can make a shout or leave him as a bonus action, or leave him to his own devices to make the decision himself.
Well, if I shout anything, I'm gonna break myself, so I'm gonna stay.
Feanor's gonna say, "Get over there! Offer them assistance!"
Oh, and he looks around as he hears the familiar voice of you, and so that's going to be your bonus action.
Yep.
For that, and then he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. As he makes his way into the firelight, he sees that the horses, Andy, who had just been recently patched up, and also Igor still there against the side. He sees that there's quite a bit of doing to be done. Before he does make his way there, he's going to take a shot at this goblin here with his bow. And so with that, he is going to hit, and he is going to inflict 7 points, which is just enough to pick off that goblin as he kerplunks it right between the eyes. But he's going to continue his movement to here. Which brings us to Igor, who he can't do much. He's a... Good to see you still standing, lad. Fight to the death, as he calls out to Bill, trying to stir up some vigor in this young boy. But next is Andy. Andy has been just recovered from falling unconscious. He is going to make a wisdom saving throw for me. He got a natural 2 for a total of a 2. He is going to stay put. He's just kind of gathering himself together, and he does stand up from his prone position. So that's what he's going to do for the turn. And then that brings us to Jess.
Excellent. I shank the guy.
Perfect.
Yes, I will stab him with my dagger.
This could be an advantage.
Yes, so yeah, if I can reach him, it'll be the big guy who just went after Theodric.
Yeah, so you are within 5 feet of him, so you can move if you want to, or you can stay put.
No, that's fine. I can just.
Perfect. Go
Shank.
ahead and stab. Stabby stab.
Perfect. Okay, and then. Come on. 10.
10 is not going to hit, unfortunately. As you stab close to, you're trying to do the maneuver that you've done before, where you're kind of like
Can I
trying
use
to slip.
inspiration?
Yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to use it, if you've got it, use it. And you guys also have 1 preparation dice. I remembered. I have to remind you that.
Yes, we do still have that. I think she's frozen.
I think so too.
Yep, there she goes.
I am so sorry. I
That's
closed
okay.
everything.
You're back.
Oh,
No
no,
worries.
she's back.
We can hear you.
I am so sorry. Hang on, just wait for everything to load again, then I will re-roll this onto inspiration.
Perfect.
So I really want this to work.
I really want it to work too. This
That
guy's
was even worse.
a big
Don't
dirty orc.
even-
Okay, well, you attempted
Don't
to
even
go
worry
for
about it.
his Achilles. You cut against the backside, and he is fully armored up. His legs all the way up to his shoulders. He is wearing basically kind of like this half cobbled together helm that doesn't cover the top of his head, but kind of serves as like a band, and then comes down the side and around the back of his head. As you observe, this is your first time likely fighting a foe that is in complete war gear, ready for battle, and the cut itself isn't going to quite cut it per se. Is there anything else that you want?
Right. Yes. Let me just examine this terrain a little bit. I'll broadcast my mouse too. Well, there's no real good places to go. Is this the Breelander here?
Yes, so that's Bill right there. And then Andy is going to be back here.
Alright. Bill is like a size taller than me, right?
Yeah, all of them are. They should be.
Okay, perfect. Alright, in that case, I will use my bonus action to disengage and then hobble my way over there.
All right. And as you do so, he feels kind of like this grating against his leg armor as he looks down right after hitting off of the shield, and he sees you, Jess. And his eyes flicker a little bit in bewilderment as he says, "Another halfling. It looks like my evening just got better. Lads, take them both. Dig up where the other one's hiding. The boss will pay a royal sum for 2 hobbits."
And I run away.
And you run away. It is now the orc's turn to go. So this one's going to come in and close the gap.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And then this one.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, I'm on my way.
25, close the gap there. And then we got 2 orcs here. This one is going to use the dash action. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 60 here. And then this one is just going to move normal 10 here. He can't bypass this goblin, so he's just going to move that direction. And then Yeah, we're going to go ahead and start making attacks. So this first one, the one that has been challenging you up to this point, at this point he has pulled out his bent sword. And he's going to start making attacks against you, seemingly not inspired, but in the same battle fury as of hers is. First attack against you, Theodric, is going to be a 12 to hit, which is not going to. This one is going to make his attack on you, and that is going to be a 20 to hit, not natural, but a 20 nonetheless.
Yep, that hits.
And that's going to be 5 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then this one up top is going to make his strike against you, which is going to be a total of 10, which does not hit. You are immediately overcome by these 3 orcs as they just begin hammering you with their swords, and you like, no matter which way like you look, you're taking your shield, boom, you get stabbed in the side, boom, you go over and you're blocking. You're just in basically a frantic trying to defend your position at this point. You are getting overwhelmed when it comes to it. But that brings us to the last of the turn, Nim. What is Nim going to be doing?
What is this orc doing at the moment? Is it running down the path? Like, it's just like coming.
He moved up. He moved up another 10 feet, and he just stopped. He looks like he wants to start making his way in this general direction, but this orc has this goblin has plugged up the path to do so.
Okay, yeah, I might just basically leave Nim there,
Okay.
and Nim's more or less just going to be like keeping that path plugged up. For now.
Perfect. We see to remember. Okay, so he's standing here. There's still a little bit of a
If
ledge
something,
that goes
yeah.
here. But they would have to be
If anyone
making
comes
the
within
long way
5,
round.
yeah. If anyone comes within 5 feet of him, he's just going to do his hoof attack.
Perfect.
Just like he's just more or less on guard, blocking the pathway.
All right. Sounds good. It is the bottom of the round, though, and so that brings us to the top of the round, and you begin to hear the wolves off in the distance. However, Jess and Valineth, and Feanor, the 3 of you, I'm going to have you make perception checks. You are currently not engaged in any way of combat.
Not this again.
6.
5.
Valineth got an 8. In the chaos of battle, you can hear the wolf cries. They begin to echo out in the distance, but they don't seem to be getting any closer. Which brings us to the volley of arrows. And so, the volley of arrows begin of turn 5 here. Volley of arrows is going to be made. The first one is going to be made against Valineth. So he has technically, I would say, 1 in the way for the roll of that, with that orc being there. So on a 10, that is going to hit the orc potentially. And that hits the orc with his AC. And it is going to deal 6 points of piercing damage to the orc. Apparently you got some
I
allies
genuinely
here.
forgot about the arrows.
Yeah. Apparently you got some allies, though, in this fight. Second one is going to
be too sure about that.
made against Jess.
Wow.
In the ways, let's see. Technically, Bill's in the way.
How dare you? Bill's my boy.
Bill is your boy. He's been firing down goblins left and right. It does go past Bill, though, as far as the hit goes. So this next one is the to-hit roll on your armor, and that is going to be a 12 to hit.
Oh, it doesn't hit.
Okay.
I got a 13.
Third arrow is going to be against you again, Jess.
Unfair, picking on the hobbits. They wanted us alive, right?
They wanted you alive, but I guess these goblins, those volleys are just firing indiscriminately.
Is that a child? Yeah, just kill it.
A 13 passed. A 13 passed, Bill. Two.
Oh, Bill's having a good night.
That's going to be a 7 to hit, which misses. So, dodging both arrows. The next one is going to be made against Nim, and Nim is out in the open, so there's no blocking there. So, first it's going to be a nat 20 to hit, which is max damage at.
What are you thinking on Nim for?
It's just the way that the dice are rolling. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm just teasing.
That is going to be max damage at 7 points.
How's Nim looking?
We'll probably need a heal.
Okay.
Second shot, or I guess that would be fourth shot, is also against Nim. 2 in a row.
I was muted for that joke. God damn it. When you said Nim's gonna need a heal, I said better bust out the good tourmaline. We're gonna need a special rock for this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
What is tourmaline?
It's a
It's
type
a
of
crystal.
like stone.
Oh no, you call yourself a crystal healer and you don't know
I
what a
don't.
tourmaline is.
That's Jess, okay? I haven't done... Okay,
you-
I've done a little bit of research, but like,
Uh,
I, Leah, am not a crystal girly.
that's gonna be a 19 to hit,
Yeah, that hits.
and that is going to be a total of 3 points of piercing damage.
Still up, but not looking very good.
Okay.
The next shot is going to be made at Bill. Poor Bill.
Does he have... Do I give him in the cover way?
No, you're in the
Too
back
small.
backside of him there. He has got nothing in this direction, so it's going to be a
Depends on
shot
which direction
which
the arrows
hits.
come from.
And it's going to be for a total of 6 points of piercing damage. It hits him as he stumbles back and he begins bleeding. He gets down on one knee and he looks up to you, and as he takes the arrow and rips it out, he's looking very badly wounded. Next shot is going to be made against Bill. This is just bad freaking rolling. But that is going to be a nat 1 for a miss. So
There you go.
there you go.
Does that mean that that archer, like the bowstring snaps or something?
You just hear a goblin in the distance.
Pulling out his spare bow. This always
Yeah.
happens.
Always happens. Gosh darn it. The next one is going to be made against Tom. Tom, technically, because he's up above, doesn't have any cover, so he's going to go ahead and get his shot
Would the
cover.
big rock behind him provide any cover?
Well, they're kind of shooting from all directions.
Yeah.
So basically, like, if you have cover blocking from the outside, that's when it counts. So the
Mhm,
big rock
okay,
is on
okay.
the inside, so it would count in this direction, but not this direction.
Yep.
That is going to be a 10 to not hit. And so the arrow pinks off on the rock behind, and that is the volley turn. But that brings us to Tom. He has been struggling this entire combat. As he sees you pass, actually, Feanor, he looks to the orcs and he sees Nim take 2 shots and another shot towards him. He says, "You go help them on the main causeway. I'll be over here." As he jumps in this direction, he is going to back up into the ring. Ring of Fire. And that is going to be his turn for this. Which brings us to the Gobbos. And so they are going to be coming for a vengeance. So this one, 5-10, is going to engage Nim there. This one's coming up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's going to climb up 30 to engage you there, Feanor. And this orc is 5, 10. Going to be engaging Nim there. Oh, it's not the orc's turn. It is not your turn, orc. Wait, you're wait.
Would Nim get his hoof attack off because he's just been waiting to?
Yeah,
for
why
something to
not?
come?
He was the very last of the last turn, so I'll say
Yeah.
like he can get his hoof attack off
Mm-mm.
with this goblin.
Cool. Yep. 15 hit?
15 will hit. Go ahead and roll for
Okay,
damage.
sweet. 9 damage.
Nim rears up and boom, just like pelts this thing's head down into the ground, and then with another couple of stomps, it is a very, very dead goblin.
Sweet.
This guy is gonna 5, 10, 25, 30, sneak his way in here and make an attack against Baradorok. So with his spear, he's going to go ahead and lash out, and that is going to be for a 9 to hit, assuming that does not hit Baradorok.
No, it does not.
So that's Goblin there, and then this guy, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. He's going to continue scurrying his way up in that direction. This guy, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to engage you, Feanor, there. And then this guy, 5, 10, 15, 20. He's beginning his 25, 30. His assault up here as well. And then this one. Gonna make his way in that direction.
We're so outnumbered.
Yeah,
15. He's going to engage Andy here, and then 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. Engage Baradorok here. So let's go ahead and roll the attacks. This one is going to be made against Baradorok. Oh, he already attacked. This one is going to attack Baradorok. Is a 12 going to hit?
No.
This one's going to attack Andy.
He's got fancy new barding now.
He does have fancy new barding. I think that helps. And that is going to be for a hit, 15. He's going to deal 6 points of damage to Andy.
Who is now unconscious again. He's not having a good time.
He's not having a good time at all.
To be fair, I don't think any of us are having a good time.
I haven't taken a hit yet. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, but are you enjoying yourself?
I have a plan. It is a truly desperate plan.
That doesn't mean you're enjoying yourself.
Touche.
And then these two attacks from these goblins against Feanor. So this first one that came up to engage is going to be a not hit for 9, and then the second attack is going to be from this one is a natural 1, so he does not hit. All right, that's the goblins. That's what they're doing. Yeah, sweet. Which brings us to Baradorok.
Baradorok is going to take a hoof attack to the dude who just attacked him. Specifically,
there's two dudes that
this
attacked.
one,
Okay.
this one here, not
Perfect.
the one with the spear,
Perfect.
the other one. And let's see, I accidentally closed his stat book for reasons unknown to everyone, including myself.
It's a plus 5 to hit.
Okay. So
2d6 plus 3 damage.
D20. Okay, does a 15 hit?
That will hit.
And what did you say again? It was a 2d6
2d6
plus
3.
2d6 plus 3. And that is 9 damage.
Oh. He pops him down too. No problems there.
Heck yeah, Baradorok.
That's what the horse does. He can move. He'll get an opportunity attack if he does, or if he just wants to keep holding his ground where he is.
He's gonna hold his ground for now.
Okay, perfect. Which brings us to Theodric. It is your turn.
I am going to shoot. is it? I should have. What's the deal with a reckless attack?
I'm pretty sure you get, what is it? You get extra damage, but everything is at advantage against you.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Probably not worth. I'm just gonna attack. What was his name?
Ubhers.
Ubhers. I'm gonna attack Ubhers with my longsword. Oh, you're okay. I'm gonna use an inspo for that one because that was pathetic. I'm using my inspo.
And then throw him pretty quick.
That was a 21 hit.
21 hits.
It's not a nat 20, unfortunately. So no max damage.
Unless you roll max damage.
That is 8 damage.
It's nothing to scoff at. Yeah, you take your sword and you begin hacking through him. You've seen this kind of armor before, and you'll be able to make a couple cuts into his neck. Just boom, as he just begins to bleed, as he winces in pain, and he continues to kind of drool this spittle out of his mouth as he looks and he's just like, he snarls at you. It's my turn. Not quite his turn yet, but is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's me done.
Valinith. He sees that there is an orc that has started coming around the flank. Valinith's like, if I move, I will get an opportunity attack. This is my opportunity to be able to use, and he pulls out my spear. And so he's gonna go ahead and poke this. And with that, he is going to roll on his character sheet. So his spear's at a +2. He's wielding it two-handed, so it's gonna be D8. Come on! And a 14 will hit this orc. It is going to deal 6 points of piercing damage to the orc. And Valinith goes, I will run you through! As he goes, and he does. He runs this orc through. And there is like a bug that is flying around, annoying the heck out of me. Sorry. This orc actually is not looking good. As he kind of slumps down more than orcs typically do, as you look, just like, as he just like kind of growls at Valinith. But that brings us to Feanor in his turn.
Of course, these goblins come and attack me, ruin all my plans. Feanor is going to... Feanor is just going to attempt to stab this goblin that is behind him, kind of blocking off his retreat.
Okay.
If need be.
Behind
and
being here?
No, down. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Because that's kind of like blocking off his, like... Because if he really needs to, he can climb over those boxes being camp.
Perfect.
But yeah, he's just going to attempt to whack them. Here we go. Does a 15 hit?
15 will hit.
Okay, let's go for big damage. I dealt 7 damage.
And with that, the goblin falls to your great spear as you skewer him through.
Sweet. And then Feanor is going to actually attempt to, like, he's going to leave the combat and he wants to climb, like, over those boxes, like, past just, like, jump into, like, the center ring as much distance as he can make.
Perfect.
But he wants to get into the center.
You're going to take an opportunity attack as you attempt to...
That's fine.
Okay, cool. And with that goblin gets a nat 1, so it doesn't matter. You climb up onto these boxes. Remember, Dindy's inside the box. You climb on top, and you are going to leap. Tell me where you are going to leap.
I want to leap to, like, land, like, here. Like in here, right next to the fire, essentially. And if I've got any movement after, that's what I've done, 5. And then just use as much... And then just using as much movement as I can to get as close to the group as possible.
You'll be able to make it either here or here next turn. However, I'm going to have you make an acrobatics check as you broad jump over. Yes, you are jumping over a small hobbit, but you're jumping over someone nonetheless.
Yeah, that's fine. A 15.
15. You easily clear that, and you make your way down onto here. You can either move 5 feet south or 5 feet here.
I will move 5 feet south because that puts me 10 feet away. I'll still be able to hit them with my great spear.
Perfect.
All together now, rally! Form a figurehead, spear through them.
And
Igor, stop sitting down! I say with like a laugh. Get off your.
See what I can do as you hear him like grunting horribly as he's just trying to like lift his body up.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe you've inspired him.
He'll say the last bit with a laugh, running into battle covered in blood.
With that, actually, Feanor, I'm going to have you make a performance check for me.
Oh no! I've got to.
You got this.
I have to do inspiration. Come on.
Yeah.
An 18.
Igor looks like he's stirred in his ability to potentially get up and do something. Meaning on his turn, he'll be able to move half movement with his basically his action to be able to go wherever he needs to go.
Hell yeah. Sweet.
You have stirred him
cool.
into action for what little time, who knows, but you have. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and jump down to Ubhers. He looks to you and he basically with his empty hand, he looks at like he sees the blood on his neck, he takes it and he takes like one lick of it and goes and he spits it directly in your face, Theodric, as he goes in for an attack. This is going to be at a I don't think that's hitting. Yeah, an 8. That's not hitting. Pinks off against your shield, and he says he growls in frustration. Which brings us to Bill. Bill the Bowman. Mr. Bill Nye the Science Guy. If you guys are right there. If you want to order him to do something, feel free.
Where is Bill again? Which one is he?
Bill's right here.
Because Fane don't currently do anything on his bonus actions. He's just going to give him a slap on the arm, going, "Come on, keep up the good work. You've been dropping them left and right. Here, aim at the orcs down here in the corner." And he gestures to this orc down here.
Yes, sir. As he makes his way 5 feet over here to get a clear shot, direct shot at this orc.
Is that the one that was looking messed up from Valineth?
This one is the one up here. Was.
Then that might be the one actually. Feanor would tell him to shoot if he can make it.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have a clear shot, then he'll go for the other.
He has a clear shot. He can go ahead and do it. And that is going to be for a 14 to hit, and he is going to deal 7 points of piercing damage as he shoots directly in the center of its throat as he just falls down to the ground. First dead orc of the combat. Bill's
Excellent. This
work.
has cleared up a pathway for Feanor to run right up to Urg.
Good. I did it. He kind of steps back a little bit, kind of trying to defend himself, looking in every direction to see if there is anything.
Yeah, Feanor's like, "Don't worry, lad. We'll make a warrior of you yet. You've got great potential." And then dives immediately back into the thick of it.
Panicking in absolute panic mode, as most of everybody is at this point. Sweet. That brings us to Igor. He is going to, as that whole time he's mustering himself up, as he looks and he picks up his axe in either head. He knocks on the crate where Dindy currently is and "Hold fast, lad. Time to go do some work." As he drags himself 5, 10, 15 to this goblin, he is going to make a attack with his axe. And he hits for a 16. And he is going to deal 6 points of cutting damage, which he does so, and he just, boom, cleaves off one of this goblin's arms. The goblin is still standing, but as he looks at fear in his eyes and the wrath of this Beorning, who's just axe in hand staring down over him.
Making Bjorn proud.
That might have been a really, really good use of your inspiration. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it.
I'm not gonna make fun ideas go to waste, especially if you're using inspiration to do them. Andy,
Aw.
it is his turn. He is
He's
unconscious,
unconscious.
so he's making a death saving throw. And he got a 5. He failed his first death save.
I know, the Breland boys. We can't let them die.
Jess.
I don't know. It seems like this game has something against people from Bree. They just die very
Just dying.
dramatically.
Not yet. Not yet,
Well,
man.
say they pint-sized things more often than not.
Breland Boys sounds like they should be a boy band.
Yeah, I've been saying it like the Backstreet Boys the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Breland.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the question. Okay, because I have a plan, but it is a very desperate plan.
Okay.
So like, okay, question to you, Kyle.
Mhm.
Should I explain the plan like out of game and get the out of game opinions on whether or not I should do this, or is that
Yeah, sure, if
something
you
that's
want.
better?
This is a good opportunity
Okay,
to do so.
cool. All right, so do we want freaking Jess and Dodie to skedaddle and lead everyone else away from the fight? Do we think that would work?
I think Jess might survive. I don't think that would result in Dodie living. At the moment, at least, he's still kind of hidden in his box.
Yeah, but unless they see 2 hobbits leave, it's sort of...
I know, but I feel like that's going to end up with Dodie being eaten.
And keep in mind, there are the
Okay.
wolves. There are the
That
wolves
risk.
often.
That's
There are the
what
wolves that
I'm
are off in the
asking.
distance for if anyone flees. And suddenly, you and Dodie, now unprotected, fleeing, attacked by a bunch of wolves while everyone else is preoccupied with all the orcs and stuff. I think honestly, your capabilities in a fight, being able to like run up around the side and being able to like sneak attack someone is going to be like, even if all you can do is like kill one orc in like the next 3 or 4 turns, you know, if you miss every other hit, it's still, that's an orc dead. They have one less person to fight.
I can do that. All right, cool.
With being so far down on our action economy as is, I feel like removing an extra hit like every round is just gonna.
Also, the archers are still out there, so I'm not sure how good running would be.
It was a thought.
It's a thought.
Goblins
Yeah.
can be sneaky. All right, I'm gonna take an arrow and try and put it in the big guy's knee.
All right.
You're trying to Skyrim him?
I'm
This
trying
guy.
to Skyrim it.
All right. So if you move, you can move through spaces. Fortunately, you would have to
And
get
yes.
to here to get a clear shot at him. Oh,
That
Let's
will
do it.
put you in range of that gob over.
True, but he doesn't get a strike unless she leaves.
I can't have disadvantage is the problem, and if I use ranged weapons, like even if I'm in melee range with someone else, it's still kind of
It puts you at
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
All right.
Can I, instead of doing that, can I like get into melee range with the big guy?
Oh yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
5, 10,
Okay, perfect.
15. Do you want to move here? Because I know Fëanor
yeah.
wanted to squeak his way through too.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Yeah. As long as I've got 10 feet, I am good.
Okay, so I guess that's your choice. Here or here?
The second one.
Here. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
perfect.
All right. Go ahead and make your shot.
Okay.
Fëanor just runs up and grapples the orc.
18.
18 will hit.
Okay. Get 3 knife damage plus sneak attack. So 10 damage total. Shank.
As you do so,
That sneak
learning from
attack
your
coming in
first mistake, you find a patch right underneath where the bottom piece of the armor and the top piece of the armor kind of come, and you just shove your sword right between it, and you hear a as he it winces back in pain as he looks around and he sees, and he points his finger at you and just says, That hurts. And he's not feeling good.
Okay.
At this point, Theodric's like, "Did you hear that, Jessamine? It hurt when you stabbed him."
Oh wow, that's what these things do. I never knew that before.
You'd think he'd never been in a fight.
True that.
Is this your first time? We can give you some pointers.
And with that,
We're all gonna die. Hang on.
it's so good. We'll see.
I used 15 feet to get there.
Yes. 5,
Okay.
10, 15, 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay. Okay. So I would like to use my bonus action to offhand attack in the dagger.
I'm
we got-
hearing
we got-
someone.
John, can you turn off your fan, please?
There we go.
Apologies.
Sorry, I leaned
No,
forward.
no worries, no worries.
That's all good.
Re-explain that to me, Jess.
Okay, I'd like to use my bonus action to do an offhand attack with my other dagger.
Okay. Feel free.
So, yeah, assuming I hit, it would just be a d4. It's an 8 to hit, so I don't do that.
As he points around to turn his finger, you strike out with your second dagger, and it just hits like the gauntlet on his arm. That hurt. You do so.
Good, you're learning.
All right, the orcs, they're going now.
turn.
Oh boy.
He's gonna scooch around, still within your melee range, and this one is going to. He's gonna stay put. This one is going to he's gonna use his aggressive at 5, 10. He can't. Curse you, goblin!
I love that we've been keeping some of the goblins alive just because they're like, ha! What? I'm
The
in the road!
roadblocks, yeah. Freaking roadblocks.
Does the orc throw the goblin off the side?
He
Because
could.
it's his
That sounds
way.
like a very goblin or orc thing to do. Yeah, I like that idea. Well, it's
No,
gonna-
I've given him ideas.
Good idea, and that's a 19 to do so, and so he does. Freaking yeeting this goblin down the side. That is
That
an
goblin
instant win.
absolutely does the Wilhelm scream on the way down.
Yeah, straight.
Yes!
Yeah, and he's
What
gonna
have I
continue his
done?
movement. 5, 10,
I'm having fun again.
Could have left that orc over there and said nothing.
11.
There's someone else to stab me.
He's gonna make his way up into the center of the camp. And as he does so, Feanor and Valnith, I'm gonna have the two of you make perception checks.
Oh boy. I don't like these perception checks.
A 19. Ugh, he's ugly.
And 18 for Valnith as well. The two of you see as he approaches and he engages Bill, a very hurt Bill, with his bow. He is looking around frantically as if disinterested in anybody else. That's what you notice.
Huh.
Well, it seems like this one specifically is after the little ones.
And with that, is that all of my orcs? No, this one is going to 5, 15, engage. Okay, so combats. This one, the one that's been attacking Theodric the whole time, is...
Going to attack me again?
You know what he's gonna do?
Stab,
he's
stab.
gonna disengage.
What?
He doesn't want to hurt the small.
He's
hobbits.
going to attempt to grapple you, Jess.
He wants to hurt the small hobbit. It's the exact
No,
opposite
he
of what
he
you
just
said.
wants to catch the hobbit.
He wants to catch the hobbit.
Honestly, who wouldn't want a pet hobbit?
So this is going to be in athletics. Catch athletics.
ありが
Thank
とう
you
ござい
so
ま
much
す。
for the resub.
Could
really
I
appreciate it.
use? Oh yeah, unlike if I get grappled, I can use acrobatics to sneak out, right?
Absolutely. He's gonna go ahead and use his athletics.
Hashtag Yeet Sildor.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you heard that meme?
No, but it's absolutely what fucking Elrond should have done.
Yeah, I'll explain it in a second.
Sparta kicks him into the volcano.
I got a 15 for acrobatics, surprisingly.
How different the
Oh,
series would have been if
athletics.
Sildor gave no fucks.
His athletics, he got a 19, and so he's gonna reach down
Aw.
and grab you. You are currently grappled and restrained.
Easy.
And with that, that is his action with his remaining movement. 5, 10, 15, 20.
They're kidnapping our Hobbit.
They're taking the Hobbit's Isengard.
Something. And Ubhers, he's like, the rest of ya, to the death, find the other halfling. And with
Wow.
that brings us to more attacks. So this guy's attacking you, Theodoric. It's going to be 11. That is not
Look,
going to hit.
It's in our favor that we know they want them alive, so
Yeah, exactly.
we'll be able to hunt that guy down once we've killed the rest of them.
True. This one's going to attack Bill. Bill's
That's
also
if we
not
don't
very good.
escape on our own first.
That's going to be a 20, non-natural 20.
Oh, Bill. Goodbye, Bill.
Goes down unconscious as he takes a
Oh,
spear
no.
to the gullet.
Who have we got left? Is Tom Lumpyface still up?
Yep, Tom is the only one of the Brelanders still up and kicking. And then this orc is going to attack Nim.
Oh,
That is going to be a 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
All right, he misses his attack. And that brings us to the end of that, meaning it is Nim's turn. He's already made his attack action for the turn, so... Oh no,
Yeah.
that was last turn. Sorry, he's got
Yes,
his...
it was because it was a held action.
Yes, that was
I
last.
guess, yeah. Nim is just going to attempt to like stomp this dude. Like, there's nothing else that he can really do, unless he were to try and disengage. But there's like so many things blocking the path that, yeah, he's just going to attempt to rear up and just bam, bam, hit him with those. So,
Alright.
There's a 15 hit.
15 will hit.
Okay. For 10 damage.
Right, and with that, Nim begins stomping. Boom, boom, boom. And this orc does not know what's coming. He has probably never fought melee combat with a stag or any creature this large, as it just completely overwhelms him, stomping him in the chest. He hasn't quite fallen over or fallen off the cliff, but he is very, very hurt. Yeah, that's
Good. That's what he deserves.
what he freaking
Oh.
deserves. Which brings us to the top of the round. Everybody, I'm gonna have make perception checks for me. No, not everybody.
I'm gonna get excluded
Feanor.
from the perception check again,
Feanor,
aren't
make a
I?
perception check for me.
I don't think I can
Oh.
perceive much.
I got a
18.
20!
Yeah, he
I
got a
would've
20
gotten a
on
20.
Aw,
the,
man.
on the one of the few times he doesn't get to do it. I got an 18.
18.
Can I save that 20 for something else?
No, that's not how the game works.
Outside, you can hear the wolves begin to start howling. Their growls are no longer that, and that you hear howls off in the distance. There seems to be some kind of rallying that's going on, and based off of your perception that's happening, seeing one of these orcs run down the slope, that could potentially be part of it. And you also hear Dindy, crumpets and tea, oh, back in the Shire, tea time, as he's just like rocking back and forth like in this tiny voice in this box. Which brings us to the arrow volleys. First one is going to be made against Baradarok. He definitely has some in the ways. In this case, it's probably more the wall than anything. So first in the way is going to be past the wall. So you got a 12, and then the hit is going to be a 16 to hit. Does that hit?
That hits, sorry.
Okay. And that is going to be 8 points of piercing damage.
No! Okay.
Second attack is being made against Valinith, who has cover from an orc. So it's going to be a 10, and it's going to hit the orc. So see if it actually hits. Got a 16 base, so that's going to hit. And then that is going to be 7 points of piercing damage to this orc. Freaking doing work against him. Alright. And then the next shot is going to be made at Jess, coincidentally. You have an in the way. There is an
I
orc
am
carrying you away.
being held.
There is an orc
They're like,
carrying
"Look,
you away, so
one
there is an in
the
the way.
He's holding you above his head like it's a video game, using you as an umbrella for the rain.
It's going to hit past the orc at a 19 for the cover check, but it lands at a 6, which does not hit.
You know that goblin gets his neck snapped at the moment the orcs show up.
Next attack is going to be made at Nim. Nim technically has cover now, so that is going to hit the cover.
Can Nim get a goddamn break?
And that is going to be an 11, which will not hit his armor. The next attack.
Nim's just got like 8 arrows stuck out of him.
The world wants
He's
Nim
a big
dead.
white target sitting up on this hill in the darkness. It's not a volley shot at that point.
Crap, I guess that's true.
next
That's why he's
one is-
getting targeted.
The next one is going to be made at Andy. He is prone, so this is he technically has cover, meaning that this is going to be at a
Wait.
disadvantage
Isn't
if
he
it gets through.
unconscious?
Was that? He's
Isn't
unconscious.
Andy
He is unconscious. Yeah.
That's what he's
Okay.
saying. He's prone though, so like he's like there's rocks and stuff.
It hits
Yeah.
through the goblin cover, meaning this next hit roll is going to be a disadvantage to see if it hits. And thank God it was. That was a 2, and so it just doesn't hit. The next one is going to be made at Jess again. So in the way. Oh, got a nat 20 on the in the way, so it's going through to hit you, Jess, but it's not hit. To see if it hits, does a 10 hit you? It misses. The next one is going to be made at Tom, who technically doesn't have any in the ways at the moment. That's going to hit him for a total of 2 points of piercing damage. The last Breelander is getting picked on here.
You know, I think I've only had to avoid 1 arrow this whole time.
I think you're right. The next
Sounds
one
about
is
right.
going to be made against. Speak of the freaking devil, Theodric.
Oh no. I have cover. I have
You do
lots
have
of
cover.
orc
You got 2 orc covers.
2 orcs and a Valneth.
Well, Valineth's on the backside, so I'm not so much counting that. But that is going to hit the cover, meaning it's probably coming from this direction, and it's going to hit big orc boy. To hit, it hits at a 19, and it is going to
Oh,
deal
please kill him. This will be funny.
6 points of piercing damage as this arrow just strikes up her. Stupid! As he's just like looking around, as he kind of has a little bit of panic on his face.
Can Feanor say, I see that you've noticed our archers have finally arrived. You fell straight into our trap.
I actually love that idea. Yes.
Great.
Yes, please.
The next shot is being made against Dindy, which automatically misses. The next one's made at Lucy, which I think was this one.
Yeah.
Lucy was the one up here.
Is that-
It does
is that-
have an
is
in
that
the
the
way
one? It was
with
not
this
Is-
rock.
Is Lucy the one that was like shot in the throat?
This is-
Oh,
It goes
yeah, it was.
through to potentially hit the pony, and with a 11, it does hit the pony. Doesn't matter what I roll, it's gonna drop unconscious. Sorry, it's gonna drop
Like that.
Lucy
Snap.
unconscious. Sorry, there's bugs, like one small bug that I haven't been able to catch that's been just flying.
Oh,
around annoying
we are Australian. Don't even worry about it.
All
I
right,
have at
so
least
yeah,
3
Lucy
puppies
is
around.
down. It is unconscious. Which brings us to the next shot, which is going to be made at Haddon, other pony.
Oh yeah. Jesus.
And
Wait.
that's going to be a 4 to hit the cover, so hits the cover. Next shot is going to be made at. That is going to be Barada Rock again. All the horses.
Leave our horses alone.
You do have cover in a goblin, so and that is going to hit the goblin. Well,
Well, I love how
Let's see.
Kyle has dealt more damage to his own things than we have.
that's what happens when you start creeping up, and it's part of the mechanics, I guess. It misses the goblin, so it does not hit. The next one is is. And the last and final shot is going to be made against Lucy again. Who is unconscious, so that'll be prone, meaning if I hit through, it'll be a disadvantage. I do hit through, and that is going to be a 7 to not hit. Lucy has survived the day, which brings us to Tom. Tom, he looks around and says, "What do I do? We're being overwhelmed." He holds his spear shaking. He sees this goblin, and immediately he charges for Bree as he goes, and he 5'10" goes ahead, and he runs his spear potentially into this goblin with a nat 1. That's
A reminder to everyone that these guys were the same people who Jalen actually inspired to be adventurers after she went off on her adventure.
They'll be joining her soon.
And we
enough.
never told them how she ended her adventure.
Yeah, we did. We gave her a no, actually, we just gave her a letter.
We
like,
no,
give it to Jalen's
you guys
mom.
didn't tell
We're
us.
like, oh yeah, like
We
yeah,
know
no,
Jalen. We actually
she's a
really
good friend of
friends
ours,
with her.
actually.
No, didn't we
One of
give
them
them a
standing.
letter and we're like, hey, you want to give this to our parents?
No, we asked them about it, like how we could get in contact with them
I
because
think-
Fedor wanted to go.
I think, from memory, Valineth actually gave them a letter or something to take there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Kyle will go back. He'll look through the notes.
Yeah.
Wonder what this is. No, it is now the goblin's turn, meaning they're going to go ahead and start their movement. So this one is going to 5, 10, 15.
Can I hurt him?
Move in here. Eventually, he just jumped into your
Aw.
range, so potentially you can hurt him. He's gonna
Oh,
try-
things keep
I've
getting in
realized I
Feanor's
have
road.
not been doing anything with my bats.
Yeah, and I've
Yeah.
been not mentioning it intentionally.
I thought honestly, I thought it was like a number of turns pass and then a thing happens.
No,
I will
I'm just
admit.
forgetting about my bats.
All I can think of when you said that is, I don't know if you're aware, but in Fire Emblem Fates, there's one map where it's like, Ryoma will have his revenge, but he'll wait for it. In 15 turns, he'll attack, and it's like, what?
15
He'll only
turns.
get his-
We're not quite there yet. You guys have a
He'll-
ways to go.
He'll only attack in 15
Yeah,
turns.
it's like a minute and a half.
And it always made me laugh.
With that, we're
See if
going
I
to
can
continue
find it.
on the goblins thing. So he is engaged already with Baradorok and Bill, but he is feeling cowardly, I think. He's feeling very cowardly. He is going to disengage. Disengage. 5, 10, 15. I'm going to start climbing his way back down the cliff. Yeah, he's not feeling very good. This goblin here, he's going to 5, 10, 15, 20. He jumps to see what's going on in the fire, and he looks around, he's like, and then he waits for a moment. He looks down at the box, and he sees that there is a whimpering, and he's like, as he begins like pointing down at the box, and he's gonna start to attempt to tear the lid open here. So he's gonna
I
make
know
an
what
athletics-
Feanor's doing on his turn.
Can I say that your goblin impersonation reminds me of the squirrel from Ice Age?
Oh, there you go. That might as well be a goblin, right?
Oh no.
That is going to be a 18, and he rips the lid off of this thing, and he
Oh, no.
pulls out Dindy. And he's going to move back the rest of his feet, 5, 10, with the Dindy in tow. This goblin is
Feanor
coming.
just got over here. And now he's
15.
gonna go all the way back over.
And he's like, toss him here, toss him here! And he's going to, with an athletics check, attempt to toss Dindy.
Oh,
And a
Nobody
natural
tossed the ball.
19 later, he tosses Dinty over to this goblin.
Wow.
And the goblin is going 5, 10,
oh no, no.
15. Down the side, he has to make an acrobatics check as he stumbles down with Dindy in tow. 17 natural. And he's gonna move
God.
5, 10. His max movement. Goblins are running away with the hobbits.
We're just gonna deal with that later. Look, they want him alive, which means we can track them down.
Wow.
We'll escape. Don't worry.
And with that,
I'll make sure.
that is
I'll
going
make sure
to.
Dindy doesn't die.
I think that's all the. Oh no, these guys. This one is going to attack Igwar, I guess. Because Igwar came and took the attention off the very dying Andy.
Took his arm off.
Yeah, it literally took his arm off, meaning his attack will. Well, I guess he'll be using it one-handed. He does land with a 17, and he's going to deal 2 points of piercing damage to Igwar. To which Igor's like, "That's all you got," and he is ready for another swing. Then this one is going to attempt to poke Valinith. Nah. Technically, I guess Theodric's probably more of a threat, but we'll see. With a 9, that's not going to hit, so he pokes you and it does nothing. All right, that's all the goblins, which brings us to Baradarok. What is he doing?
Not much room for him to maneuver, is there?
Not so much.
Shoot.
Oh,
What's
by
his
the
face
way,
was
I'm gonna have Feanor. I guess you would probably at this point be the only one who knew that Dindy got taken. Everybody else is very tied up.
Oh, they've
Some of
got
us
the other
very
little one.
literally.
Oh, they've got the other little one. Look, we need to just deal with this. I can track them later. We can't save them if we're dead. They obviously want them alive. Let's try and keep one of these orcs as a prisoner, maybe. Find out where their camp is. Maybe a goblin, that'd be much better. And I'm death staring that goblin that's like with its arm missing. I'm like, maybe you.
The one who looks like he's at death's door and he's just about to pass out from blood loss. Yeah, absolutely. But Baradarok,
So,
what is
What's
he
his face is in the way for me right now.
doing? Yeah, so you've got
Pimple face,
yeah, Tom.
lumpy face, Tom lumpy face.
Yeah.
I guess Baradarok's going to try to move. Actually, oh, I don't know what just happened there. There we go. So he was here anyway. I guess I'm just gonna hold my action. Really, there's not much I can do there with Baradarok. I'm just gonna hold action.
Okay. And with that, I believe Baradarok had the Lucy stat block. Is that correct? Who had Lucy? Who had
So-
control of Lucy?
So it would
Oh,
roll
I had
against-
control of Lucy.
Okay, go ahead and make a death saving throw. So just a d20.
Just a D20. Oh, D&D gods, please be nice.
Fortunately,
No.
she's in no danger of dying immediately. So
7. That's a
it's
7.
the first failed saving throw for Lucy. All right, Theodric, it is your turn.
I am going to. I'm staring down Ushburs. Is that it?
Uppers and a
Uppers.
couple, an orc and a goblin.
And I'm just going to. Theodric kind of just laughs at the arrows sticking out of him. He goes, you'd probably be doing quite a lot better if you didn't have all of your archers shooting your own men. And he's going to make an attack with his longsword.
All right, go ahead and make the attack roll.
It's a 5.
As you swing your sword and you impact his armor, he pulls you in and he goes, and as he winces, he says, and he kind of, in as much of a whisper as an orc could, I can tell you're no pushover. Finally, someone worth swinging my blade at, worth his metal. Let me see if you're as sturdy as you look. I've been looking for a challenge. I've had a hankering for it. It's basically like the stab. He takes it like you stab him. Kind of like, I guess, what Bolg does in The Hobbit as he pulls you in. As he releases you, as he takes his sword, he's ready to bop. It's Valinith's turn. And Valinith seeing, how hurt are you? he takes one look at you, Theodric.
I've been better, but I've also been worse.
Okay, so I can start poking things with my spear.
Oh yeah, I'm not out of this fight yet.
Okay. this is gonna be tricksy. He is going to not disengage, but he's going to take the opportunity attacks from the goblin and the orc to make his way over here to Bill. Seeing Bill go down unconscious with an orc in his face. So first attack is from the goblin, and that is going to be a 14, which does not hit. Second attack is from the orc. That is going to be a 9, which doesn't hit. So with his spear, he's going to attempt to skewer this orc here. Is he? Yeah, that's all he can do. Yeah, that's all he can do. So he's going to do that, and he's going to roll a 16 to hit the orc. Oh, no, I should roll on his character sheet. A spear attack. He rolled a 5, which will not hit the orc. And with that, that brings us to... Oh! No, that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to heal. It's okay. I think he distracted the orc enough, but that's fine. It's cool. Sorry. Sorry, Dain. And Feanor, it is your turn.
Seeing what's going on with Dindy, but knowing that like he can't really like just abandon everyone here, Feanor is going to come in down to. Sorry, I'll just project my mouse. To down in here, right next to Theodric, like in the thick of things, and he's going to attempt to attack this orc that's like flanking Theodric.
All right, you're gonna get one opportunity attack from this goblin here.
That's fine.
That is gonna be a 11.
No, definitely doesn't.
And then you make your way down here to, Orky. Sweet.
Okay, sweet.
Does
an 18.
Who are you poking again?
The one that's directly below me.
Okay, yeah, 18
Like
will
directly
hit,
underneath.
for sure.
Yep. And for a second I thought that was my damage. Accidentally rolled the d20 again. Though I do deal 15 damage to him.
This orc, completely fresh, almost as if it hadn't been wounded yet. You take one look at him, and your eyes narrow. You just, boom, right through the middle of him as he chokes. As you rip out, he dies. He's very, very dead orc.
Let's wrap this up quickly. We got places to be.
It is Ubhur's turn. He looks and says, he looks in both directions. He sees that Jess is being carried off. He sees that the orcs are taken, and he looks from side to side, and he says, he calls out around him, "Back to the caves, all of you! I've got what I came for. Enjoy your fleeting freedom tonight. My hunger's sated. But mark my words, my blade craves more, and it won't be long before I return to feast on what's left of you."
Oh, so you're a coward as well.
He
Wow.
is going
Thought
to...
orcs are supposed to be intimidating.
He's going to make his attack against Theodric first before turning. Is a 18 going to hit?
I have an 18.
So it just hits.
Yes.
Just hits.
It's your armor.
That is going to be for a total of 4 points of slashing damage. And he is going to begin moving. You can have an opportunity attack at him if you want.
Yes, please.
All right, go ahead.
Does it?
Yeah.
Do I have to roll anything extra, or is it just flat attack?
Just a flat attack roll.
Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does not hit, unfortunately.
Damn.
15, 20, 25, 30. As he begins calling for the retreat. But that brings us to Bill.
Do I have?
Yeah, when is Jess's turn?
Yeah.
Later, after Andy.
Yeah.
No worries, you're coming. Bill, he is unconscious. He has to roll his first death save. To which that is going to be a fail. So, one failed death save for him at an 8. Igwar, he's going to spend his turn trying to kill this goblin, what's left of him. And he hits with the exact 14, what he needed, and he only needs 1 damage, so he's gonna kill the goblin. And then that's Igwar. He's gonna start moving 5, 10, 15. And he's gonna hold his position there. For Andy, who is also unconscious, already has 1 failed death save. He's gonna make his. It's a nat 1. I can take a picture if you guys want to see it, but it's a nat 1.
Farewell, Andy.
Andy
We're sure you'll be
perishes in
missed.
combat, as the last breaths of life leave his lips. Oh, that hurts.
You were perfectly adequate, meat shield.
He did.
You
his
will be
thing.
missed.
Thank you for finally making enough room for Baradorok to get through.
God, jeez.
Oh, that's brutal,
oh,
dude.
Whoa. I know I was
Jess,
joking about it, but God.
it is your
My
turn.
goodness.
Look, I'm just saying Baradorok
My-
has more kills than most people do in this combat.
Just
Baradorok's
'cause
sitting pretty on 5 goblin kills.
Just because that's true.
Actually 6 because of the last one.
Crazy.
Some
I've always been
things
putting in
shouldn't
work.
be said.
Shouldn't be
Alright, would it be an action to try and wiggle out of this?
Yeah,
dude's
absolutely.
grasp?
If you want, yeah, I would say
Excellent.
it's
I
an
take
action.
an action wiggle.
Yeah, you can go ahead
Acrobatics?
and make an athletics check for me.
Can I use acrobatics? If I'm super
Uh,
wiggly?
Yeah, why not? And remember, you guys still have the D8 to use if you need to use it.
Do we
Preparation
still
dice.
have that?
Yes,
Still
we've been
have a
saving it.
preparation dice. This might be a good time to use it if you need it.
I could use it. Okay. Kyle, cover your ears. Yeah, guys, I got a 10. Do we
Yeah,
think?
definitely do it.
Okay,
Yes.
done.
Generally, these things are a contest, so you want to have a
Oh, cool. I got an 8, so total of 18.
Cool.
Kyle, we're good.
Well used. Well
Yeah.
used.
Are you using
Come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used
she,
it.
she
I
got an
I
8.
rolled max, so I got an 18 total.
it? 18 total. He got a 14. You slip out of his grasp. Kerplunking
I'm a slippery,
right on the
slippery
ground.
boy. Perfect. Like right next to him.
Right next to him.
Excellent. I would like to use a bonus action to disengage, and then I just
Scurry
Phew.
back to us.
scurry. Yes.
5, 10, 15. How far do you want to go?
As far as my little legs will carry me.
20, 25. That's as far as your legs will carry you.
Sounds perfect.
Awesome. You successfully wiggle out, kerplunking down on the ground. The orc loses his grip on you, and as he looks immediately to Ubhurs, and Ubhurs is like, forget him. We've already
I'm-
got one.
Aw. I
I'm
really
a
wanted him to
slippery
have to
boy,
come
I'm a-
back.
Yeah. Oh, coming back with your tail between your legs.
And with
Wow,
that,
your men can't even keep hold of someone the size of a child, and you brought them to battle. Look, first rule of warfare: actually bring people who can fight.
That's a good point. With that, this orc, he's going to attempt 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to come back and attempt to grab you again.
He's like, sorry, boss, I'll just pick him back
I
up.
could do this all night.
All right, acrobatics check.
Or acrobatics?
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is so
Love
awkward.
it.
It's just kind of
to
walk
grab
up. And
you again. He's just
He's
like,
giving
I
Theodric
got
the
a
side.
natural freaking 20 for a total of 22.
So
Yeah,
it's
you
giving
are
Theodric the
definitely-
side eye, like, excuse me. Just
Um,
trying to pick it up again.
he looks and he fails that. That's his action, so he can't do anything else. That's what he's doing. This orc, he is actually going to see that, and he is not going to disengage. He's going to retreat back this way. Valneth can get an opportunity attack at him.
Could I as well? He was within 10 feet of me.
Then yes.
I was muted again. Gosh damn.
Valneth
Oh, no.
misses with a 12.
I got an 18.
18 will hit.
Damage.
For 6 damage.
6 damage. All right. You skewer him as he begins to prepare to flee. Oh my gosh. And he's very, very heavily wounded. He's holding his arm as he runs. 10, 15, 20, 25. He comes back here and attempts to grab you, Jess. Another acrobatics check.
I'm a slippery boy.
It's a 16.
Oh, we should have greased up the hobbits before this.
5.
5. Does
We
grab
didn't
you.
know that they were after the hobbits.
True, yeah, true.
Okay, sorry.
Does grab
I am
you.
officially grappled again.
Yes, grappled.
That was like all his movement, though, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so
Or
he's
did
gonna
he had
move
5
back
feet?
towards the middle.
Mhm.
Is that what he can do?
I think he had 5
No,
feet.
he's gonna move in here. Bill is not.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go ahead and move within that reach, hoping this orc can cover his trail. But that brings us to Nim.
Nim's just going to attempt to kick this orc again.
Okay.
Honestly, if that can clear up the path for us, that's going to be excellent. Come on, decent roll. Does an 18 hit?
18 will hit.
Okay, we may have a straight shot to go and save him. For 13 damage.
Jesus! Man.
Nim, boom, boom, and he just with his head just pushes him right, tumbling, and you hear this orc off in the distance. That is...
And then Nim is going to chase after this goblin.
All right.
Yeah, right there. So as soon as the goblin moves, he's going to attack him as he's fleeing.
Perfect.
Hopefully we can kill that goblin.
It's a pretty
I
good
approve
use
this
of that.
message.
I'm actually. This is great. Uppers has no idea what's
yes.
going on. With that, I keep forgetting that I have bats. So that's fun. I guess it's still the turn, so I'll use my bats. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
What are you
He's
doing?
gonna go
with
ahead
that?
and pop himself there. Essentially, there's the swarm of bats comes swooping in and begins fluttering in everyone. Your vision is cut past, like you can't see further than 5 feet. And while you are in the within his area, you have disadvantage on attack rolls against.
Sorry, I did miss that. When I'm in the bats, I'm at disadvantage, and I can't see more than 5 feet.
You can't see more than 5 feet. Yep.
Okay, cool.
They have swarmed. They are here, and they are going to make an attack. Yeah, I guess on you, since they're centered on you, Feanor.
Hell yeah.
So bite
Dain
attack.
can take it. He can take it.
Feanor's
That's
going
going to be a
Batman.
16 to hit.
Don't say that
That
before
doesn't
it
hit me.
happens.
All these bats come swarming in, and actually, for Theodric, Feanor, and Valneth, you begin to feel kind of these bat wings beat against you, and these kind of like nibbles at you as, yeah, these bats are doing their thing. They haven't seemed to struck true yet, but that brings us to the top of the combat round. It's chaotic. I'm going to go ahead and have the volley set off.
Oh, if this volley hits Nim's
What?
gonna go down. And then that's Nim can't take an attack of opportunity. Let's hope the
Fortunately,
gods.
because the retreat is called, half of the volley shots are going at the current.
Yeah. Say.
Only half?
Only half. Hey, it's better than
Yeah, the
12
others are-
shots.
Yeah, the others are laying down suppressive fire while the others retreat.
The first attack is going to be against Valneth, who has cover because it's a bunch of bats. So I'm going to say it's 3/4 cover.
Does it deal damage to the bats?
Will deal damage to the bats if it
Yes.
hits.
Yes.
It gets a natural 2, so it misses. Second one is going to be made against Igor, actually, and it goes just past the bats.
He's also got cover from the orc, though, right?
Technically, no, because it's basically coming from this direction. So, pretty free
Okay.
shot pegging him here. And they're going to hit him for a total of 2 points of piercing damage. Igor's taken more arrows to the knee. The next one is going to attack Andy, who's dead. So that just is a miss.
Just trying to
Stop
hit his
shooting
body.
him! He's already dead! Just like his body twitching as the arrow.
The next one is going to be made against Haddon. So
It's okay. He's gonna come back as Andy the White.
yeah,
I think
white
Andy
cloak
might have
and
already
white,
been.
white hair,
Andy the
young,
White.
young boy, white hair, swooping.
No, but he's gonna have like frosted tips and like you know, good 90s fashion.
Yeah, the Breland's back all right, with that, that's going to hit the wall, so it's not going to hit Haddon. And the next one is going to be made against Jess, who's being carried by an orc. So it hits the orc.
They keep sniping
Thank
their own
you.
men.
Can we
This is
change
great.
Jessamine instead of Sackville than she is now? Jessamine Arrow Magnet.
That is a 14 hit, which will not hit the orc.
But only when I'm being carried by orcs.
True. You're higher. You're a higher beacon, a bigger target, I guess. That is not going to hit the orc. But the last shot is going to be made at Feanor, who has 3/4 cover.
Yep. I'm just good like that.
And with none at Nim, so that's good.
Yes.
It does not
Thank
hit,
God.
so it's gonna hit through the bats. It hits the bats, and it's gonna deal 4 points of piercing damage to.
Wow, it knocked out
the
20
bats.
bats on the way down.
Yeah, kind of. It skewered like 4 of them, like boop, just go. It's nice. All right, and that is going to bring us to Tom. And as he looks kind of around, he says, "What's going on?" As he walks around this side, and he sees
Uh-oh.
Andy. He is going to make a wisdom saving throw. Shrugging it off, he's going to go ahead with his spear and charge headfirst into the orc that is carrying Jess. And with a nat 20 to hit,
Tom!
he's going to, basically stealing his nerve, charge in, boom! Spear right into his gullet, which max damage for that is going to be a total of 7. And this orc
Guys.
falls lifeless as you come falling out. I have to make you an acrobatics check for me, Jess, as you come tumbling
Tom
down.
Lumpy
I think-
Face, the coward of Bree, is the only
He's
Breelander. He was. Out of
This
all
is
of them, he was
the-
the most scared.
This
Yeah.
is just his Slayer background, okay?
This is his origin story.
Exactly.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish. The coward of Bree finally getting his hero arc.
I got a 5 on
Bill and
acrobatics.
Andy are both gone.
You
It's just
fall
Can I make it that the
prone
orc
on
actually
ground.
lands on top of me?
Sure. Orc lands on top of you. You fall prone. You will take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as the orc falls
That's
on
the
top
first
of
damage I've taken all,
you. Orc fall.
all game.
You just wanted to be involved in the damage. Say, yeah, I was in combat. Yeah, what happened? Oh, an orc fell on me. Well, that seems pretty horrifying. Like, was he super heavy? Well, no, he was like pretty average sized, but like, you know, it happened. Like,
It is the goblin's turn in combat. This one is fleeing, so he's gonna go fleeing off. This one has to make a wisdom saving throw. He got a 14, so he's still good. He's going to go here and engage Nim in combat.
no.
And is a 14 gonna hit?
Yeah, it will.
He is going to spear Nim for 4 points of piercing damage.
Nim is on 1 HP.
Um,
Any more? Like I said, if one of those arrows had hit Nim, I'm pretty sure that would have been.
could have been all bad news bears. And with that being the case, this goblin is going to use his action to disengage and 15 run off.
Can you disengage while carrying someone?
Yeah, you're not attacking. It's like you're using your whole action. You don't get to dash, you don't get to do anything. But you do manage to get away.
And that's going to be that. And you hear a screaming off in the distance, Dindy being carried off. But we're going to go ahead, and as he disappears into the crowd of retreating goblins / wolves and that kind of stuff. Is that everybody? Okay, Baradorok.
Baradorok is going to... actually, I can't do anything because Tom actually did something that also filled the space I needed. I guess Baradorok's going to go look after Nim over here.
Yeah,
Just
Nim's
as
looking
backup.
very hurt as Baradorok sees him. Looks up, see if there's any goblins. There is a gobbo that's still there.
And he's actually he can't. Okay, he's gonna come here and hold his action. That way, when Nim's turn, Nim can disengage, run behind him, and Baradorok will beat up the goblin. Hopefully.
Perfect.
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Strategy, animal strategy. I like it. Theodric, it is your turn.
Doesn't Lucy need another death save?
Oh
for it?
yes, Lucy
Or
death
is
save
that-
for me.
Oh, that's a 5.
That's a 2
Not
death
good.
saves.
And now that it's my turn, do I need to do anything special to get away from the bats, or can I just walk away?
You can walk away. Technically, it's like
They get an opportunity.
They will get an
No, it-
opportunity attack, but that's like their one bonus action for the turn. So,
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna walk away from the bats.
by the way, I got the
5,
book.
10, 15,
Oh, that's
20, 25.
A 9 is not going to hit, I'm assuming.
No.
Alright.
Theodric follows after.
Can you move 5 feet up? Is it like just like
What, just
leave-
here?
Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
I can do that. I can absolutely do that.
Okay.
Theodric.
And Theodric's going to say, hey, you don't get to leave. You were talking all that good stuff a moment ago. And Theodric's going to take a swing at him.
Okay.
Oh my lord, that is horrible. 5, so I miss, obviously.
Yeah. And he basically, as you swing your sword, he takes his gauntlet hand and bats it away, and he says, "I'll come back for you another night. Enjoy your freedom."
Theodric, does he want a second date?
He does, but I don't like being stood up on the first one.
Oh, so inconsiderate.
Valinith is currently in a bat swarm, so he is going to,
Take a shot at.
well, he can just run because he's already used its attack. He is going to go here, and he is going to immediately use an Apolis on Bill to stabilize him.
Bill.
I feel like that's something he would.
He would have done. Yeah.
He heals for 2 points.
Bill Nye the arrow guy.
Well,
As he
nice.
does so and he begins treating the wounds, Bill, his eyes flicker open, and he grabs his bow. He's like, "What did I miss?" And you see that there are bats all over the freaking place, but more importantly, there are no orcs standing over the top of him. So he has come back, sitting pretty at 2 hit points. Which brings us to Feanor.
Feanor is just full sprinting, taking this attack of opportunity from the goblin, all the way till he's 10 feet away from this dude, and he's just going to attempt to stab him.
All right. Yeah, Goblin will make his attack. That's gonna be a freaking nat 20 though, as you attempt to leave.
Doesn't matter. Feanor is not even phased.
Yeah,
How
that's
much
gonna
damage
be a total of 8 points of piercing damage
Yep.
as you shanks ya as you leave.
I wish
Cool.
I could just shrug off that.
Yeah, I've taken 9 damage this whole encounter. I'm good, bro.
All right, Feanor.
Feanor's like,
10
yeah,
feet
Feanor.
away.
Okay, yeah. 10
Oh,
feet away.
I thought it was if I can get within 5 feet, then I get within 5 feet.
Ah, okay.
That's
Um,
exactly 30.
Yeah, and then Feanor is going to just attempt to like spear him.
All right, go ahead.
A 9.
9 is not going to do it, unfortunately. That brings us to Ubhers. He's going to look to the two of you. And he sees that there is very little chance. Most of the goblins that are all around have begun their hard retreat off into the distance. And he stands up and he sees you and he says, I refuse to go down like this. Not to the likes of you. I hope they devour your friend alive, and the rest of you to follow. And he goes ahead and he is going to make an attack one more at you, Theodric.
Well, he's just a human. No need to make it about race.
That is going to be a 19 to hit.
It does hit.
It's going to be a total of 12 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
You know what's great about that is that I don't think he can disengage now. So
I don't think so.
if he runs away, let's stab him.
That is exactly what he's doing. He's going to run.
Shank him.
Wait,
Shank him.
wait. Can he disengage? Or I thought.
No, he can just run, but that has a opportunity attacks.
Okay.
Does a 23 hit,
Yeah.
Kyle? And
That's
does a
it.
22 from Theodric hit?
Yeah,
Okay.
those will hit.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Does 16 damage kill him? Roll for your damage as well. I want to see how
Roll,
cool.
Theodric.
I want to see how cool we kill this guy.
I got 5 damage.
What are you
I'll let
doing in
you-
this moment as he's running from you? Back turns towards his
Uh-oh.
goblin horde.
I'll say I think as he's like come through and he stabbed Theodric's like taken the blow but like hacked at like one of his like feet, like slashing him, and as he's turned to run, Feanor's just like full planted in the ground behind him and just stabbed him straight through the chest with his great spear. Just like full out through the chest, like lifting him up off the ground, and then just like puts a foot on him and pulls it out.
You do so.
Well, Feanor comes down, just pats him on the head. Good fight.
Theodric's like, I'm glad that's over, but I'm feeling very woozy and very hurt.
Dindy has been taken by the orcs and goblins. Probably, is it Dindy? Yeah. Yeah, he's gone. The one that we were here to find. We're gonna have to go track him. You're covered in a lot of blood.
Yeah, most of it's mine.
Bill,
Yeah, let's get
it is
you
his
patched
turn. He is going to run in here, and Bill the Boneman is here. He is stabilized. I guess he's gonna take shots at the bats. That's what he can see. So, yeah, he'll shoot an arrow. He got a natural 19, so that's gonna hit. And it's gonna be for 6 points of piercing damage.
I got crit
Few more bats fall out of the sky. But that brings us to Igor, who, yeah, he's gonna chop at this, probably this orc. He's not within the bubble of the bats, so he should be okay. Nat 20 is going to hit him for a total of 12 points, and he is going to chop this orc down. Very dead orc. And then that brings us to Andy, who's dead. Jess, it's your turn.
Get this thing off me! I wiggle out from underneath the orc.
Oh yeah. And I'm assuming Tom is also kind of like, like as he sees this orc just flop on top of you. He's.
Ah.
Are you okay, Mr.
Jess?
He turns and the orc was dead is now suddenly wriggling around on the ground. Oh my god!
Yeah, slightly bruised, but here we go. Is there anyone else around, or is it just the bats? think it's just the bats.
They got Andy. They got Andy. As he begins just like sobbing, he's like shaking, but tears in his eyes as he looks around. He can't like pull his eyes off the dead face of Andy.
Okay, all right, dear. Just 1 second. I'm gonna go and shake these bats, I guess.
There's
a
goblin
goblin
too.
left.
Oh, I
Everyone
shake the
keeps
goblin, I
ignoring the
guess.
gobbler.
You have a
I can't
choice.
see which thing is which. Okay, they're very small pictures.
You can zoom in.
Um,
here. There's like a zoom in option too on your mouse too.
Okay. Yes. Is this bloody the Bayoning on the other side of the goblin?
It is.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then I don't need advantage from a sneak attack. But I only got a 7 to hit.
7 will not hit, unfortunately. The orcs are all dead. Good job.
Okay. Me.
Unless you want to do something else. Sorry. Anything else, Jess?
I do. Yes, I would like to use my bonus action to use my other dagger.
Okay.
Of course, that one hits, but it's only a d4 of damage.
It's okay,
Be all
goblins are
you
weak.
need.
We've been
Yeah, so
one-shotting
1
this-
point of damage to the goblin.
You scratch him. This goblin does look pretty
Yeah.
hurt, but you do so, and he is completely surrounded. There's this swarm of bats that are up ahead, and he seems to be completely surrounded by none of his allies. Terrified. You do slash him. It doesn't kill him, but you do slash him. Pretty good.
That's fine. Alright, I'm gonna turn back to Tom, and I'm just gonna go, there, dear. I'll just give him the biggest, warmest hug that I can manage right now.
I could just picture it. You're just like, stab, dagger. Oh, it's okay.
It's okay. You're fine.
Next is the orcs. Turn.
The duality of Jess. I love her.
It's great. There are no orcs left, so that's not their turn. It is Nim's turn.
Nim's just on a roll. Nim's gone into a rage.
He's hoofing it.
Is going to, you know what? Is just going to attempt to attack.
All right. Go ahead.
You know what? Nim could disengage, but why end his streak? No, doesn't 11 hit.
11 does not hit, unfortunately.
Oh, Nim finally missed. He was getting all my kills for me. But yeah, other than that, that's all you can do without invoking an attack of opportunity.
And that brings us to the end of combat. As these bats eventually fly off into the distance, and these goblins, I'm going to allow you to get 1 attack of opportunity as he attempts to flee off into the distance. He's going to attempt to flee.
Excellent.
Does anyone want to do anything with this goblin?
Okay,
Everyone who can hit it, hit it.
First and foremost, we'll do this one up top.
An 18.
18 will hit.
And then dealing max damage for 15 damage.
He was already
Wow.
hurt to begin with, but yeah, that's pretty bad as Nim stomps and as he sees
Nim's just
the
surrounded by
goblins and wolves.
corpses.
Yeah, basically. Jess, do you want to do anything as this goblin is going to attempt to flee?
I did try and shank him, but I only got a 10, so.
Okay. He is going to book it. He's not doing any actions as he goes. Igor says,
Yeah?
he was like, "No, you're not." He's gonna attempt to grapple the goblin.
Gobbler.
And that's gonna be an 18, which the goblin cannot match. Tight bear grip. Immediately, Igor, he falls down with his butt on the ground, and he just wincing in pain. 2 more arrows sticking out of him as his leg
Roll
hits
on
the
him!
goblin. And he does. Rolls on top of the goblin, and in the process begins to just like disarm, take any kind of weapons or sharp stuff from it. And
I
that is
go
the end of
over
combat.
there. I would like to find some rope and tie up the goblin.
Yeah, you guys have rope on you and also in the caravan if you want to do
Yeah.
that. You can easily do
Yeah.
that without too much effort.
Which
Absolutely.
one of the Breland boys is still alive?
Two of them.
Both Bill and Tom.
We only
Okay. Which,
lost Alan. Was it Alan? Andy.
Andy.
it doesn't
Andy.
matter. It doesn't
Andy.
matter what his name
We
was
should at
anymore.
least remember his name.
Feanor walks up and says, "Alan's sacrifice." No, I'm joking. No. Feanor is going to like start as he's making his way up, start pushing aside like the dead stuff, like pushing just orcs and goblins off the path. But when he makes his way up, he is going to see the dead body, and seeing that the others are pretty distressed still, is going to take off his cloak and lay it over him, closing his eyes, and he is going to say, "Lothran Sinman post with valor." And so anyone who can speak Sindarin knows that he just said, "May your soul rest in the stars with the valor."
So not me. I'm just gonna like after I've helped tie up the goblin, I'm gonna go back to hugging Tom.
And Tom is just weeping deeply. At this point, Bill has made his way over, and he is just staring stoically at just the whole scene, completely in disbelief of what he's seen. He begins kicking some of the goblin and orc bodies that are strewn around, and he says, "He was the strongest of all of us. Why couldn't it have been me?" As he just takes a big gulp. "Thank you. All of you. I think we would have all met the same fate if it weren't for you." And he just walks over to this crate, the one that Dindy was, and he just has a seat, and he puts his head in his hands. Valinith makes his way over to Andy, and initially starts checking him to see, checks his pulse and everything, and he says, "He's no longer with us. Such is the frets of battle. Loss is something that, the longer you adventure, inscribes itself onto your soul, onto your very being. Let's consider ourselves lucky. A lot more death could have been made tonight."
And Theodric's going to pipe up and say, "Speaking of, I think we need to tend to our wounds quite badly. Because, forgive me if I'm wrong, but both the horses, well, all of our animals look quite beat up, and I'm severely hurt."
Yes, we need to be ready to move when morning comes.
Quite right indeed. Everybody gather around, let's see what I can do. Snapping out of it, he wants everybody
Where
to
exactly,
line up.
Fainal?
Feanor will say to both the Breland guys when they're like a little bit together, he's like, "Sometimes the strong fall, but it is our duty as warriors and adventurers to carry their memories with us, their wills, to bring them into the world. Do not let your friend's death seem like the end of an adventure. It is merely a stop. The best way to honor him is to keep others safe as you did tonight. Dodie was taken, yes, and friends fell. But through your efforts, all of us are still alive. So many lives were saved by yours and his efforts. Don't let that be in vain. I won't allow you to disgrace his sacrifice." This kind of thoughts. And kind of just leaves them to think. Going to like help Igua like get in a comfortable position and like start help Valinor. It's more with like the lifting of bodies rather than the killing of them.
Igwar, with this goblin in tow, he basically has him in like a choke, and he kind of crawls his way back with the goblin to the center of basically the campfire in the light. He's going to prop himself up against the wagon in pain, ripping the arrows out, waiting for assistance when Valinith eventually gets the ability to make his way over. But the goblin is tied up in the center of just wriggling and screeching crudely, but he is not going anywhere.
Be quiet. Shut up. Oh, he's still screaming. Feanor is going to pull out one of his axes and he's going to start holding the blade in the fire. And when it's hot, he's going to put it in front of the goblin's face and say, "Be quiet, or I'll force you to scream."
Make an intimidation check for me.
13.
13. The goblin looks at you and immediately fear welling up in his eyes. He is doing as you say.
Good, and Feanor pulls the axe away from his face and rests it to let it cool.
Jess, what were you saying?
Yes. I would like to pull Feanor aside at some point and have a chat.
Yes, Jess. What's up? I know it's been a bit of a night. What's on your mind?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it has. It definitely has. You mentioned leaving at dawn. Where are we going?
After Indy, of course. They may be creatures of the night, but they still leave tracks. And if they were trying to take you alive, then my guess is that he won't be dead. They're taking him somewhere for a purpose.
Do you think it's wise that, and she'll glance over clearly to the other Brelanders and the very injured Igor, everyone come with us to rescue Dindy?
It's going to be a hard thing to ask, especially when I heard this orc said that they were going to caves. We won't be able to take the animals. It is a bit of a fool's hope. I don't know if I can just let him go to die. Perhaps that's done. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, but
That's not what I'm suggesting.
I know you're suggesting sending the rest back, but that just leaves them open to more ambush. When we are not with them, their strength has dwindled. Even more so than when we arrive. So we must decide if we want to go into the Misty Mountains, into the caves, and attempt to find Indy, or get the rest back safe. You knew him best. I believe the decision will be up to you in the end. But my vote is to go after him. Even just to confirm his death. Cruel fate, especially after everything that we learned with Mogdred. To be a slave for orcs and goblins and things of the dark. Not a fate I would wish on any.
He'll probably die before he gets that far.
Perhaps. Perhaps. But they had a master. You know that. These orcs had a master who was commanding. And someone who can command a host of orcs and goblins and wargs is powerful indeed. It is the only thing that has given me pause on immediately. The amount of resources they have available to them at their disposal to counterattack and slow us down. With already how injured we are. If we wish to return the others back to either the Shire or back to the inn, then do so. Vanor's just kind of like looking off into the kind of just like contemplative, thinking about what to do. Like it's like very apparent that he's like deep in thought.
Okay.
Valneth is going to chime in. I've tended the wounds of what I can, and in fact, actually, Theodric, you can restore 15 hit points. Nim is going to restore 4, and then Baradrock is going to restore 2. He says, if you're worried about them being on the road, perhaps I can lead them back. And he looks to everybody that's kind of sitting and around. I know they can't make it alone. I'm good with animals. I can heal their wounds, at least get Igor enough to be able to walk. I can take the body of Andy back to the Easterly Inn. And he gives kind of like a deep sigh. I don't want to give up hope on Dindy, and I'm not. I don't want you to think that. But I have absolute faith in the three of you. That you will find Dindy. And when the time comes, we are reunited again at the Easterly Inn. This is not the end of an adventure. I think it's just the beginning. And as long as we're still breathing, as long as we're still standing, we must do what we can to help those with the little time we have left.
We should ask Theodric as well. 2 votes to go after.
I vote that
perhaps
you
that'll
should
be the-
go after, but I will lead the caravan back. I will inform everybody at the Easterly Inn, whether that's talking to Shadrach, send people your way to be able to help you. If you are able to.
Shadrach would definitely be welcome. Theodric, I'll call you over.
Don't send Rufus. He's retired.
He is very large.
Yeah, as much as you could ride him into battle.
I don't think I could.
He's a large dog.
That would be something
That's
to see.
got very
Huzzah.
little to do with it. Dogs' backs aren't made for riding. Is your mic muted, Dom?
No, I'm here. I'm waiting.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're just being quiet.
I just don't want to interrupt anyone.
Yeah, it's all good.
Theodric, upon listening to all this, is just going to be like, I think Velenith has the right idea. They're so hurt, and they won't survive another battle like that. Andy already didn't. We can't possibly ask them to go any further. They're tired, they've been on the road dealing with constant skirmishes with the orcs and the goblins. Asking them to go further to try and save Dindy is just out of the question. I believe that we should let Velenith guide them back to the Easterly Inn while we go find Dindy.
That's my instinct as well. Maybe we should even let the animals go with them.
Oh yes, I was kind of intending on that.
We can be quieter with just us 3.
I would agree with that. I don't think either of those ponies are going to be in any state to be able to be pulling any wagons. I was thinking perhaps Baradrock.
Yeah, Baradrock and then. Yeah.
Yes. Plus, caves are no place for any animal, really. Well,
Yeah.
at least any that's worth knowing about.
Particularly not goblins, they're too hungry.
Well, so it's settled then. In the morning, we will head after Dindy. The others, led by Arnath, will head back to the inn.
Can I make a meal? My Dorvis pots and pans.
If you wish to do so, as you do, Igor, he winces as he's kind of helping massage his wound, and Valinith is there. But Igor, he says, "The attacks, yes, they've been coming westwardly, but they've also been coming from the north. I do find that if you may not necessarily towards the pass. If you make your way a little bit northwards, you might be able to find trails. They have caves upon caves underneath the mountain. You might be able to slip in through a back door of kinds." Ugh! As he winces, all of the energy seems to have been completely sapped from him.
Thank you.
No. But then he blinks and he looks up to you. Do you think, while you're away, could you keep an eye out for Lochni and Anew?
Of course. Those were the other Bjornings that were with.
They're the other Beornings.
Just wanted to double check.
While we... Let me explain. When we departed Rivendell, making our way up into the High Pass, it wasn't long before we began to hear wolves on our trail. Toying with us, just out of sight. And as soon as we made our way below the shadow of the mountain, that is when we saw Ubhurs. As if coming out of nowhere, holes in the mountain itself began to open. And the goblins began to attack. The ponies, of course, they were frightened. And with Dindy, they went darting off the path. The lowlands, they haven't been this dangerous in a while. And so the Breland boys, Anew, Lochni, and myself, did what we could. The only reason we were able to escape is because Lochni and Anew held them at bay as we went after the caravan and the ponies. We wandered for what felt like weeks. Could have been a couple of days. Those ponies are smart beasts. It seems that they had found their way to a place of relative shelter. High enough to be out of sight of the low road, but obscured enough to not be seen by the average bypasser. And inside, we saw Dindy. It was then we decided to make our way towards the low path, perhaps at the mouth on the eastern slopes. And it was there a trap was laid for us. Ubhurs, instead of chasing us, waited for us. He's a cunning creature. He was a cunning creature. He was a hunter. He did not live within the mountains itself, but he has caused trouble for me and my people for some time. Normally leading orc skirmish raids. This time he had an army of goblins at his lead. We did what we could. Arrows went flying. One of them struck Haddon and he ran off. With Lucy, myself, and the others, we were able to make our way in daylight up on top of this hill. But we haven't been able to be healed. We haven't been able to make much of an escape without the other pony. so we sat, waiting for rescue or death. I'm happy we came. I'm happy you were the ones to arrive. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to me, but I know it means a lot to those lads. It's unfortunate that, well, Andy had to go the way he did. But he did so bravely. Don't wait too long to go after Dindy. Goblins, they can't move in the light, but as soon as they go underground, those tunnels, they wind. If you lose their trail, I do fear you yourselves will be lost. Don't wait too long. Come morning, it might be too late.
Well, then I think it's clear what we have to do. Let's get patched up. And we set off immediately.
There's time for a good meal first.
There is time for a good meal. There's a nice fire roaring. You don't have to worry about getting that all set up. And I will say that you could probably prepare something nice within about a half hour.
Easy. Yeah, I just do like a quick thing. I'm using. What do I want to use? I want to use Apollos,
Okay.
reed mace, and some fruit as well.
All right.
I've already marked them all off.
Sorry, a thing that I didn't mention earlier is when we were like pushing all the orcs and stuff off there, like with Ubers or whatever. Feanor would have searched him, and would have been just like searching like them all as they're going, and like if they have nothing of use, just tossing them.
Perfect. Most of these orcs do not, especially the goblins. The goblins are just ramshackle, like basically sticks with like sharp stones on the end of them. Their spears aren't forged made or anything. The orcs are a different story. They look to be like a pretty uniform design. Does not look the same as Ubhur's. But he is just a completely different creature altogether almost. He looks quite different from the orcs. The orcs themselves, they have some splintered armor that you might be able to salvage some metal from, some iron from, and you can find 2 spears, just normal spears, that are relatively in good condition and unbroken. But they have their shields. They're not going to be anything compared to what you have comparatively. Yep. And Ubhur's on him, you look at his scimitar that he has in his hands, and it's a heavy, heavy weapon. You could be able to wield it, but it's a very, very like top heavy. It's a chopping weapon, not so much a finesse whacking weapon. Essentially, a scimitar is the equivalent in this game to a greatsword. So if you want to pocket Ubhur's orcish scimitar, you can do so as well.
Yeah, I might do so.
Okay.
Actually, does Theodric fight with strength or dex?
Strength.
You like using your shield.
Yeah, it's a 2-handed weapon.
I do really like using my shield.
And it is very orcish in look. This thing it's actually a decent quality, but it looks like a weapon of the enemy. So if you're wielding that in battle, there's that too.
That's fine. Yeah, Feanor will pocket that, but like, there's no like orders, there's no notes, any.
Nope,
stuff
nothing on him. As far as that goes.
Cool. He'll probably actually take the helm that Ubhur's is wearing and just kind of put it in his pack as well.
Okay, perfect.
He plans on using that as intimidation later.
I love it.
But yeah. But Jess is cooking. I just wanted to add that before we
Before we
went
forget.
further.
Yeah, for sure.
Let him cook.
Yes, absolutely. Why don't you go ahead for me, Jess, and make, what is it, a sleight of hand check? Yes.
Something like that.
Yes, it's a sleight of hand check. Or a wisdom check. But I'm assuming so.
Oh, it's definitely not going to be wisdom.
Okay, perfect.
Does anyone have an inspiration?
You still have a D8 if you... Oh, did you already use the D8?
I already used the D8.
Okay. I was going to say, this would be your last chance to use it if you hadn't yet. Let's see if Valineth has an inspiration. That
I feel like Valineth would.
he does have an inspiration. Here, for just grins and giggles, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna use my channel points.
Oh, thank you.
I have an infinite amount because I have never used them. So
The kind and generous DM or LM if we're using.
feel free to go ahead and roll as I figure out how to.
Okay. Yes. I would have been so sad if that hadn't worked and I just like used that for nothing.
Okay, what was your result?
15.
15.
Think
That is going
that
to
is
be
enough.
enough. That is definitely a success
Yeah.
on that. And so, with that success, you can go ahead and roll a d4 to have the various effects on what this. You're using Athelas, fruit, and what else?
Reed mace.
Reed mace. Okay, perfect.
I got a 4!
Athelas. So you can go ahead and choose any 2 effects.
Definitely the Athelas.
Okay.
I'm using that. And what else? What else? Let me just. I think Reed Mace isn't super useful, so I might go
Yeah,
with
I don't
the
think in this
fish.
situation it is.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely the fruit.
So,
Yeah, so
you
can I explain what it does?
Absolutely.
You can do the flavor. I'll just explain what.
Yeah, feel free. She begins cooking up, and she pulls out medicinal herbs as she begins to cook things out, and it's a little bit bitter at first, and then she pulls out her sack of fruit as she begins adding some of that to sweeten it up a little bit. It's a nice aroma, almost like kind of like a aromatherapy, relaxing aroma that comes out. More medicine than food, but it turns out to be a very delicious-looking stew that she's able to make of this. Kind of like a fruit stew. It's interesting.
I get one of my crystals and I just like wave it in a circular pattern around the
And the aroma just wafts in all directions as that's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It does.
Go ahead and
Okay.
explain what this does.
So, would it be okay to like feed this to the horses as well, like all the animals and stuff?
Let me see. How many people does it affect?
Vanor's fine not eating.
Oh, you'll want to eat this.
I only lost 9 out of 39 HP. So, like, if it's got other special effects, then yes, I will eat it. But if it's just for healing, then
yeah, it has other effects.
I don't think you specified how many people would.
Yes, it's at the very bottom. It says feeding the party. A freshly cooked meal can feed 1d6 medium or small-sized creatures, or 1d2 large-sized creatures. So the animals would be large creatures, and everybody else would be medium. So go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
No, not. I don't want to choose. 3.
3. So you can choose 3 people to consume this meal, which I think it would be best assumed that would be you, Jess, Theodric, and Feanor. Everyone else can like eat some, but they just won't get the benefits.
Yeah, we're getting the lion's share because we're about to run off into the night after a bunch of goblins.
That's rude.
So I think that's only fair.
That's not what I wanted, though. Yeah, it's probably okay. All right, so yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Whatever you wanted to do with the meal, feel free. Absolutely.
I thought it would be a thing that everyone would get some and all the effects, but that's fine.
So what's our special effects?
Special effects. So the Athelas, regains everyone's hit points back to max HP. So that's pretty good. And then the fruit is you gain advantage on the next intelligence-based check you make in the next, or saving throw for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
Nice. I've been
It's-
muted again.
It's
I'm-
pretty good.
Need to stop.
Yeah, you just need to stop muting yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
And Valinith, with that being the case, if the three of you are going to be healed up to do
Yeah.
that, he's going to spend his last, essentially, healing to restore. 'Cause he's got one more use of this.
Mm.
9 points of healing to probably Nim.
Nim definitely needs it the most.
Nim is going with them just because like we're not going to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Nim will be able to help.
This meal is delicious. This meal basically soothes your soul. Everyone partakes in it and tries it, but to you three, it's particularly invigorating before the daunting task that is ahead. As you begin to feel kind of this healing energy from this cooking basically pulse over your body, your minds are cleared and you understand going forward what this is going to take. And without much further, about an hour total since the kidnapping and everything has happened, you are set and ready to go on your way as Valinith continues patching things up. He says, I will wait till the first light of the morning, and then I will lead them. There might be other creatures down below, and I'll keep an eye out and mend the wounds. If you're back by the morning, I will be here, and if not, I will meet you at the Easterly Inn.
Of course.
I wish you
Feanor-
luck.
Feanor's actually going to hand him the whistle that he's got. He says, Nim will come if you use this. If he runs off or gets lost, especially with all the mists, he'll know how to get to you. Stay safe. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Try not to travel back in time with a bunch of half-dead people.
Ha ha ha! You know me. I'll do my best. He takes.
It doesn't really fill me with confidence, but I'm glad you're trying.
Try indeed, I will. If at first I don't succeed, try and try again. But so far we're alive, so we're kind of successful.
While this is happening,
Is that how that's supposed to go?
Yes.
I have never heard that version of the saying in my whole life.
Some would even
Wait,
say perfect practice makes perfect. But
Yeah.
if you're not perfect at something, how could it be perfect? So practice makes perfect practice, which makes perfect.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
I didn't get any of that.
Don't practice till you get something
So-
right. Practice till you no longer
say
get it
the
wrong.
first one again. If it don't, you first.
If at first
that
you
one.
don't succeed, try and try again.
Yeah.
Ah.
Have you actually never heard that one?
No. This is just a character
Yeah.
thing.
I just wasn't sure if that was you or the character. I was about to be like, you better have heard of this.
No,
There's
this
about
is
to
just
be a
character.
fight.
This is just
It's okay. She's
Yeah.
just lived under a rock her whole life. Jess
yeah.
has,
No.
literally.
No. Hang on. Let me get into character.
Sorry.
Huh. I wonder if that's a Hobbit thing or just my family thing. Because my whole life I thought that saying was, if at first you don't succeed, have some cake.
Ah, cake sounds delicious.
It works every time.
Jess, why didn't you bake us cake? That's now I'm hungry.
I
That soup is
don't have an
delicious.
oven.
Ah.
Yes, I'm the only one here who has cakes, and like I've got my little honey cakes. There's a little nibble.
Oh, yeah,
It's
you
like,
do
no,
have
I'm not
honey cakes.
sharing.
You shared with the horse.
Yes. Why would I share with you though?
while this is happening, Theodric is looking after Baradarok and kind of like instructing him to follow Valinith's commands
Make an animal
For-
handling check for me.
the foreseeable future.
I'm gonna have you do the same with Nim Feanor.
I got a 17 on the animal handling check.
And
And I got a 21.
yeah, Theodric, as you make your way over and you place your hands on Baradarok's reins and you kind of adjust the barding and everything on him. He looks a mixture of bewildered and relieved. But immediately as you begin petting him, he calms down. He's the old war horse that you've been through so much together with. You
Hey,
tell
buddy.
him yes. Go ahead.
You're gonna have to go with Valeneth for a little while, and look after him and Nim and all the others here. Unfortunately, Goblin Caves are not gonna be big enough to fit you. Uh, yeah, I don't exactly like being split up from you either, but Valeneth's gonna need your help because the rest of these guys are pretty beat up.
He begins nudging and almost like forcing your hand onto his nose, and he closes his eyes as you rub. There is an understanding of this. He doesn't like it, but he will do it.
Yeah, look, hopefully it won't take too long. Yeah,
Just a quick trip to the Goblin Caves.
yeah. Hopefully, Feanor, Jess, and I will have this wrapped up pretty quickly, and we'll be
Back home.
back on the road.
And he kind of lays down next to you before you do eventually make your way to the edge before departing. Feanor, with your check as well, you actually, as you approach Nim is in a state of obvious repair. Valeneth is finishing up the last of the patching up on Nim, and bandages all basically like abreast the side, patching up arrow holes and that kind of stuff. And Nim looks exhausted, but he's there. He acknowledges your presence. He gives you a small bow, and he like lays his head back down on the ground. The eyes just kind of like looking up at you.
Don't look at me like that. I have to go save the little one. Like, this is for the best. You don't belong on a mountain. Caves and holes. And like Feanor's like rubbing his head, and it's like, go back to the open fields, explore the woods, stay near the inn, find out more about the magic dog for me. I would appreciate that. But go off into the woods. You'll meet again. In this life or the next.
You meet his eye, his direct gaze. I'm gonna have you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
3.
3.
It's like so heartbroken.
You remember the moment that you met him in the meadow, right outside of a woodman town. And you remember the same sense of fear that was with him after being nearly caught. As you released him, you kind of felt the same hesitation. And even as you lay your hand on his head, you can feel him shudder and tremble. Not at your touch, but he seems to be hurting. Deeper than just physical.
You'll be alright. Valeneth, don't make me cry. No, you're not gonna make me behave. You're still young. Go out into the woods. You'll know if I come back. If not, I'll be across the sea and I'll still be thinking of you. Live a long life. You've already been through so much.
He lets out a loud bugle. I can't do that, so I'm not going to attempt. But he lets out that long, high-pitched bugle. He lays his head back down, and he closes his eyes. He breathes shallowly. This is a very sad deer. And you could tell, and based off of your animal handling check, this is not a sadness of anything other than he is worried for you.
Got a job to do. I'll try to be back, but tricky business. Stay safe. and Feanor is going to stand up after that, and like he would be with him until the exact moment we're heading out, pretty much, or like we're literally grabbing up our stuff and leaving. So
Jess.
I like to picture that Jess is just like packed up all her pots and pans, and she's just like got a pack on, and she's just waiting to go, and she's like, these animal lovers don't understand them.
The very first are ready to go. Actually, I was gonna jump over to you and ask like what you're doing during this moment as they're having
Yeah.
these intimate moments with their steeds.
Yeah, so Sue's just like, packing up all her pots and pans and being like, oh, Bessie, oh, you've done it again, you genius. Oh, there you go, Alvin. There you go, all nice and shiny. There you go, you're all coming with me. Yes, I'm not letting you out of my sight. No way.
Valeth, he looks over and he's like,
Bring
"You're
it in."
taking the lemons with you, right?"
I mean, unless you wanted one for luck, I don't actually have any lemons.
Huzzah to that!
One for the road. Oh.
Just takes a bite out of one, rind and all.
Oh, I mean, I love lemons; they're delicious, but
They're great.
Rind and all?
Yeah.
Kyle, didn't know you were a
A
monster.
little bit of citrus peel.
No,
yeah.
haven't you ever had like a raw like lemon or like yuzu rind and like salad?
Lemon zest. It's so good,
So
especially if you like making.
Yeah, I guess
cakes
I
and
like
pies.
taking a bite like an apple out of it. No, that only
Nah.
psychopaths do that.
So we figured out that Kyle's a psychopath.
No. Naturally, you've got to eat the tomatoes like that.
Yeah, there you go. And then
Like
make
good
as
old
much noise as
Denethor.
possible.
Steward of Gondor.
Can you imagine eating tomatoes
I
so
used to eat
closely? It's like a
tomatoes like
metaphor.
apples, and I used to eat just like cucumbers straight, just like chomping.
Hey,
down
I
on
don't
those.
see a problem with the cucumbers or the apples. That's always how I eat apples. I don't chop them. So I just
Or
I'm sorry, can we
tomatoes.
all
tomatoes maybe.
how horribly Denethor had to eat those tomatoes? Like literally, he's such a sloppy eater. You could imagine all of those people being murdered.
Yes.
I would
Well,
be
he had a
ashamed
nice song.
if that was
It
me.
helped. With that, the group of you gather your stuff up for the road, and as you look north to the darkened mountain range before you, and that is where we're going to end our session for tonight, a little bit early tonight.
Sure.
Really quickly before you
Glad we
all
killed that
head
orc.
out, I know Dom, you have work in the morning. I'm gonna jump to you first to ask you about your thoughts on tonight's session, and then yeah, you can go ahead and jump off whenever you need to. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Tonight's session was good. Kind of a bit dicey in places. Just worried about my health. Glad the bats weren't.
Speaking of which,
That's
what
what-
were you at? How much health were
I
you
was
at?
I was at 4 HP by the end of it.
Well,
And
now
that's-
I'm glad I used the obelisk as
Yeah.
well.
And that's because I was using rage. I was in rage that whole time, thankfully.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the bats weren't actually as bad as I thought they were going to be. Like, honestly, they were a nuisance for sure.
It's because I forgot to
um,
use them.
Yeah, I know. But
And by the time
super
the turn limit was up, and so the bats just flew away.
Right. I'm kind of bummed they managed to get Dindy. Doty, whichever. of
Dindy,
them.
yeah.
Dindy.
Uh,
the Bilbo Baggins.
yeah.
I've managed to get around that of forgetting their names by just in universe. Feanor doesn't know them. Like he's just like, yeah, the Hobbit.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's hilarious.
But kind of bummed they got him because that means more running around for us as a party. But you know, it is what it is. Kind of thought it was hilarious the orc that kidnapped, dropped, and then kidnapped again. Jessamine, that was funny. I just love the he just kind of scoots past us all to pick her up again.
I'm not
Pardon
gonna
me.
lie. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
dropped that.
You were very slippery, Jess, as far as trying to pick up and run away. I was like, I thought for sure I was gonna get both of you, both Dindy and. I thought that orc was gonna plug up Nim well enough. I just
it
needed one
did
more movement
seem-
to get you off the board, Jess.
it did seem like you were very much like you had planned it that way, but no.
I'm gonna tell you something. I
On a
was doing
slippery-
everything. The goal was to catch the hobbits, and so that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Catch those hobbits, even if it meant
Yeah.
opportunity attacks and that kind of stuff. So,
See,
trying
I
to
think
tie
that's
people up where I could. But
one of the things that I like about this campaign is I've played a fair few campaigns, and a lot of DMs go with this weird thought process of enemy attack closest thing to them, and there's just kind of this weird brute force, straightforward way to play that I don't enjoy, where it's like you should be playing your, the NPCs that you control, the orcs and goblins and everything like that, like they have goals and they have actual thought processes of their own, which
one
is
thing that
what you
helps
do, thankfully.
is there's a series of books that came out called "The Monsters Know What They're Doing."
Yes, I actually saw them recently and I had a look through. But yeah, and
Tell you
I'm
all the
grateful.
strategies on how to play them. And
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
exactly.
So
Because yeah, I've had some DMs who did not like, they would go for just straightforward attacks and get themselves slaughtered. So
especially
I
goblins, they
appreciate.
got 7 HP. And when I was playing, like when I play them, it depends on like what the task and the situation is. But usually goblins themselves are very cowardly, meaning if they even take a couple points of damage, they're most likely going to run, unless they have a leader to lead them. They're probably more afraid of their leader than they are of dying. So this was the only situation where like they were gonna be like, oh my gosh, like as you saw in the first encounter, as soon as like their captain was dead, they just were running for the hills. They were like, heck no, Feanor chasing them down, just chasing them down, and not letting that happen. So, yeah, goblins are cowards. You will quickly learn to realize that
Right?
they're the
Which
bottom of the barrel.
yeah, I definitely appreciate that there was a lot more nuance to the strategy for the orcs and goblins in this campaign, in your campaign.
Well, and also for you guys, like in this specific combat, it's like you knew exactly what you did. I mean, obviously, the first and foremost, you want to survive the night. You want to survive the attack and do all that kind of stuff. And there's more than just yourselves to take care of too. And so whether or not it's like, I mean, unfortunately, Andy did perish during this, but yeah, it's just one of those things where there's kind of like a lot of like small objectives for you guys as well when it comes to well, at least this specific combat. But yeah, it's always interesting to see. I thought I had both Jess and Dindy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen, and then nope, Jess is a slippery noodle and just
I'm
not
honestly
letting that
kind of
happen.
surprised we only lost Andy. Like, I'm grateful. Like,
It's
Yeah.
like trying to pick up an udon noodle with a chopstick. It's impossible.
I was surprised that like Dindy didn't get the chance to escape either.
He's very, very, very weak.
And he's also
Sorry.
not much of a fighter.
Is he not slippery?
No. He's like, I'm
If
gonna
we-
hide. I'm gonna be in here. Ah! He just gets carried away.
That's
Doesn't
very
that
on
when a
brand for
goblin is
Dindy.
directly above him and he goes, "Link," and looks down at him. It's like, oh no, please.
I've been found. Oh. But now there is another arc to this adventure that is extending it, so that'll be fun. There's
Oh,
a lot
goody.
perhaps to explore going into the future here with the remainder of this adventure. So.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like starting to think that maybe I should have like let myself get captured so I'd be in the same place as Dodie, but we'll see how that goes.
We'll see. That's good. I mean, you guys, with the three of you and your abilities to be able to hopefully traverse and track down, we'll see what ends up happening. But,
Yeah. Jess and the Slayers would also make a really good band name, can I say?
yeah, Jess and the Slayer. The Brelanders. The next arc is going to be preparing for the Battle of the Bands. That's what's going to happen.
The battle of the
And
five.
no one here is a bard
Nobody's
or
about
anything
that's true.
close. No
Yep.
one's a bard. No one's a.
Feanor
What
can
am I
break
called?
bones to a beat. Does that count?
That does absolutely count. Yeah.
Called chiropractor.
And then, like-
practicing
Yeah.
chiropractic.
I can set up like a little, tambourine set with like all the pots and pans. I would never do that. That's a bad idea.
All Theodric has to do is just walk.
The
His
worst part is
armor
that
just
the worst part is Valineth's leaving, and he enjoys a good revelry.
that's true. He'd
Yeah,
be
he
the
does
dancer.
like dancing.
Yep,
Oh, well.
that's his own. That's his own fault for.
Well, it
he
wouldn't
gets to
be
miss out on the
Jess and the
party.
Slayers if Valineth was here as well.
Yeah, I think we need to workshop the name a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I nailed it.
Yeah, you would.
That's good. Oh, geez.
Oh man, you despise me.
I despise Jessamine. There's a very big difference. Okay.
Is there anything else, Dom, that you want to add before
Um,
you're done?
Not much for input. I just want to say, you waving a rock over the food doesn't make it taste any better.
Fëanor
that's all I've
was
got.
literally
I know,
going
but
to
it's-
say when it like rejuvenated, it's like, well, maybe there is something to these rocks.
No. You're just having none of it.
No deception required.
Theodric comes from arguably one of the least, like, I guess, scientifically, quote-unquote, sound races / peoples of Middle-earth, and even he thinks that your crystals are bullshit. Like,
Hey, magic is real, bro.
yeah,
Right?
I know, but even he still thinks it's bullshit. Like, the men of Rohan aren't exactly, like, the pinnacle of medicine and science, and even he knows it's crap.
Again.
He's a man of Rohan. He knows horse shit when he sees it.
One day, I will have the opportunity,
And it's actually going to work, and Theodric's
and it's
be
gonna
like,
work.
Oh my
And
god.
and Dom will sit there and eat his words.
No. Theodric's gonna be like, yep, the Valar have blessed me. I'm chosen. He will believe anything else before the crystals.
Oh no.
He'll be like, Sauron's taken mercy on me before he believes that your rock has done anything. Sauron
no.
himself was chosen to get healed.
Now you can use that orc sword that Fëanor picked up.
Yeah, absolutely. Switching sides. Hello.
Definitely Fëanor's going to be showing up, like, if we need to, with the helmet on and the sword. And he's going to be like, right, lads. Like, it's just going to be like, clearly he's not even going to attempt to make, like, a saving throw. It's just for the entrance.
back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, and then he's just going to start attacking.
Oh no, that should be my line though, because I'm the cook.
That's true. Looks like meat's back
I'll-
on the menu.
I'll give you the great sword.
And the
Oh,
helmet,
please
the clearly,
don't.
it's got like a
probably
hole in the
like,
middle.
like 2/3 my size, you know. Have you seen great swords? Those things are freaking huge.
They're huge. They're biggins.
They're so big.
Jess, your thoughts on tonight's session?
Oh, this session was delightful. I loved it. Combat heavy sessions aren't really my thing, so I wasn't paying the most amount of attention. But you know, we had a few good laughs in there. You know, not taking it too seriously. Just fun midweek hangout for me. It was
Yeah.
great.
Absolutely. And who knows, going forward, there's probably not going to be a ton of combats. What was it? Like we went, what, like 2 combats in like the first like
It was
25 sessions, something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that. We've had we've had a few combats really close together because we had the wargs and goblins, and then the river stuff, and
Yeah.
now this.
Mhm.
That's been like the last 10 sessions, I want to say.
Yeah, it's been a lot, for sure.
Yeah, it's been very like.
I was looking back at like I
condensed
think
as
the
opposed to what we
last,
used
not
to.
the last episode, but the Folkmoot was like episode like 28. I was looking
Yeah.
back and yeah, so you guys are about 8, 9, 10 episodes into this adventure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
that
been a lot
sounds
of
about right.
combat, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially like comparatively, because like before we had the Festival of the Five Armies was like our first combat,
Mhm.
and then like everything with the thieves and stuff, and then we didn't hit combat again until the
Spiders.
giant spiders. Yeah. Freaking, what was his name?
Actually,
Naglin.
speaking of goblins, maybe just to be able to find some treasure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So I was like quite keen because you said you were bleeding the bodies, so I'm like, oh, any more scrap pieces of paper? But turned out not to be the case. That's fine. That's fine. Just not in any hurry to do that. I don't have a plan. I'm just
Plans to get
Just
you
going
to
along.
get out. Just happy to be there, right? along for the journey.
Maybe not happy to be there, but she's.
Just saying that Feanor are not good company. How dare you?
I think she prefers your company to the goblins.
Oh wow, that's an insult. That's a veiled
I'm saying that I would rather kiss you than die. It's a compliment. No.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'll
Your company's better than those orcs that tried to kill us. It's like, oh, thanks. So you hate me?
No, yeah. Like you guys are the ones not detracting from the trip. It's just goblins. The orcs are fine. Like they didn't kill it, but those freaking archers, man, I found it so funny that like even while I was actively being held by an orc, they were still firing at me. Like me specifically, not the orc. Me specifically.
They hit the orc
Funny.
once.
Yeah, they missed me every single time. I'm like,
it's good stuff.
anyway, yeah.
Awesome.
We're gonna end up finding out there's like a goblin resistance that actually aren't able.
Okay. Nick, your thoughts on tonight's session?
I think it was really great. I do feel like I made a couple fumbles as Feanor. Like I left the back half of the thing open because I was like, look, everyone else isn't doing great over there, so I ran in to help them. But then it's directly what led to Dindy being taken. But look, I'm glad that I came over and was able to kill like 2 of the orcs and some of the goblins and deal some the killing blow to the boss goblin, Oops, or whatever his name was. But no, all in all, it was pretty good being able to run around. And at the end, it's like, yeah, do we go after him or do we just abandon like the hope that he could even be alive? And Fane was like, no, I'm going after him. But as we saw with his interaction with Nim, he's not really sure if he's going to come back alive from this one. So he's just like, you know what? It's what I think is right to do. So I'm going to attempt to do it, and I may die in the process. But even like abandoning it now is almost like the same thing he said to the Breland boys. Is you're disrespecting the other one's sacrifice by like not moving forward with it. So if I can't go and save Dindy, then that guy died for nothing. So it's like almost like warrior mentality. He has to go and do this. It's like, someone else died for this thing. It's like I've got to follow it through, and if I die too, I die too. But no one here died in vain. So.
And for the record, don't blame yourself about Dindy getting taken or feeling like you played anything wrong. I don't think I've seen a single one of this session with Dindy hasn't been taken. So it's the odds are stacked against Dindy. It's not impossible, but the odds are stacked against him. So.
Oh no, I just mean like I felt like I made it a little easier when I didn't intend to, and I'm like, drat.
I thought you were gonna get him with Nim. Straight up, I thought that was gonna happen. I was like,
I forgot that the goblins could just disengage, and I was like, no, they're getting away.
Yep. Crazy.
I think Dindy is just an extremely kidnappable person.
The fact that he's made it this far is pretty good, but yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, he's not meant for rough spaces. He's a little hobbit.
He's a little hobbit. He doesn't make a hobbit of getting himself into tight, sticky situations. Until now.
Oh my god. Feanor will leave him behind because those jokes. Like, he's like, I have a moral obligation to, another pun, and I'm turning this car around.
Oh no.
But no, it was very good, and I do like that, like, even in the moments of it's like we're in the middle of a battle, we can stop and be like, have a laugh, make fun of the orcs. It's like, well, I thought you said you were like wanting to fight us. You didn't even bring in any actual fighters. Oh yes, our archers have appeared. Just like he knows that it's his own goblins, but like still being able to like play it as it's like, oh yeah, like just trash talking your enemy in the middle of combat, just to see how they react.
Part of combat, right? Rough them up with your words while with your.
I really wish
vicious mockery isn't exactly
Yeah,
everyone
I could have played a
check, right? Tom Cardi.
Yes, Yeah, I think I could have played a pretty decent bard, honestly.
Oh man,
Just insulting people left and right.
we gotta play. Oh man, Kyle, you gotta run a one shot in 5e for us where we play nothing but bards.
Just
Oh,
it is
God.
the battle of the bands at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jess and
A
the
battle of the
Slayers.
bands one shot. And it'll be called
I'd
Jess
be
and the
okay
Slayers.
with that.
Instead of
Yeah.
a
First the
Like-
Brelanders.
Instead of like figuratively battle of the bands where you just play music at each other, it's a literal magic battle
It's nice.
where you just. Oh man, I love that.
And then
No.
Tad comes in and starts chucking rocks,
God damn it.
Oh my gosh.
breaking the rules.
That could be really fun too, because like not only are you casting spells at the other bands, like flavored as you playing the actual music, but then at the end of each round, you have to do a performance
Right.
check to
Clearly,
see
Tad's going to be performing
if
rock
you enough
music.
to keep in the battle.
Oh my god. Okay.
That would
I
be
know-
so much fun.
I
have a
picture it
blast with
kind
that.
of like, you know, in like Guitar Hero 3 where you're like as like Slash and you're battling off against like Satan. Like
Yes, I know what you're talking about. That is one of the best, like, because what does he play through the fire?
through the
of
fire and flames, yeah.
Yeah. Against Satan.
Dragon forces.
You
That's
literally,
fun.
you literally rock off against Satan in hell to become like the god of rock.
That's so
Oh.
cool.
God, what an awesome, stupid game.
It's good stuff.
It's
How you unlock
literally the
Slash
devil
though,
went down to
so it's
Georgia.
important.
We
Um,
now know what Kyle's next game he's streaming is going to be.
Yes!
I actually got a detention in I think my 10th grade during an exam because we were allowed to listen to music. My MP3, that's how old this was
Mm.
too loud and the whole class could hear through the fire and the flames.
And you got detention for
What?
that?
Yeah,
Your teacher
what a
wasn't
what a
just like,
legend.
hey, can you
it
turn
was
that
during
down
an
a little?"
exam and I
Oh,
was
turn
just
it
listening
down.
to
Yeah.
Dragon Force full volume.
What a mean
And
teacher. I would
Honestly,
just be like,
you
hey, could you
listening
like
to that during an exam is goated. That's
Yeah,
very
But
fire.
it was
So
my
now
teacher was like,
Dom
"You're
was
being
actually the
destructive."
coolest guy at his school. Like,
I would argue that I was the coolest person at my school, but I was homeschooled, so I don't know if that like.
I don't think that counts.
I would
depends on
argue-
how many people are homeschooled with you. You could still be the coolest.
Well, that's a valid point. Do you have any siblings that you're better than?
Oh no, actually, Bookish is way cooler than me. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you lost.
Yeah, I did. Oh man.
Imagine being homeschooled and still not being the coolest person.
You haven't met Bookish. That's the only reason you're saying that.
Yeah, that's true.
She is my hero. She's 2 years younger than me, and I look up to her.
It's pretty cool. It's good to have a good relationship with your siblings like that.
It's great.
But with that being the case, I think that is going
Anyway,
to end it
yeah.
for tonight. You've heard my thoughts on tonight's session and everything, but yeah, this was fun. You guys did a really, really, really good job. Only one Breelander died. That's pretty darn good, and it was basically off of a nat 1 for the death saving throw. So
Mm.
rough. Isn't that how Jalen died too? Got a nat 1 on your death saving throw, like second
Pretty
one.
much. I think
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was something like that.
We can't accept any more people from the Brelands into our
The
group.
nat 1s, it's crazy. But yes,
They have the opposite of the lucky feat.
yeah, it's true. Get that lucky going. But for the week ahead, as far as streams go, Cole later today at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, he'll be streaming Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Golden Deer route, his speed run where he runs the Golden Deer playing speedy characters, so that's fun. Dain will be continuing his Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Nuzlocke challenge on Thursday, and then on Saturday at I believe 2 p.m. on Saturday Mountain Time. He will be finishing that up and starting Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the 25th anniversary of the game. So that's super cool and super exciting as well. We will also have Everlast this weekend, our basically homebrew world here, and a new tabletop RPG that's coming out. They're continuing through the dungeon. They just beat a giant shark monster 2 weeks ago, and yeah, they're continuing through the dungeon. So join us for that on Saturday, 10:30 a.m. JST. So hard time here. And other than that, we have a sponsor, Daisnaki. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company. Especially if you're looking for some holiday gifts for people, a Japanese snack box might be a cool way to be able to do that. If you order from them and say that Fantasy Forge sent you, it helps us out a lot. You're helping a family business in Tokyo, Japan as well. And also on top of that, if you put your Twitch name, you will get raffle tickets towards a omakase box giveaway when we hit a referral limit. But they have a number of box selections from their traditional Japanese goods in their omakase looks box, from popular Japanese goods in their omakase box, and then also they have a bunch of character boxes in their kawaii boxes. So if you're interested in that, they got lots to be able to choose from. I'm sure they'll be coming out with a holiday box too at some point here, whether it's for Christmas or New Year's. New Year's is the big holiday in Japan, so don't be surprised if they have a New Year box that's going to be coming around the bend. But I think that's it. Anything else from you guys before we peace out? I go eat my dinner.
Hmm.
No, I think it's all good. I think, yeah, it's been a lovely session, and yeah, shame that Dain wasn't here, but it'll be good to see where the story goes from here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It'll be good.
Let's
It'll
go
be
rescue
Woo, let's go
someone.
Dain.
Let's
Go
go
die in a
rescue
goblin hole.
Diddy!
Don't die on me.
Yep.
If we all die in the cave, can we all come back as Brelanders?
If you want to come back as
I
a Freelander, feel
refuse.
free.
Please.
Oh my gosh. But with that, we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Thank you all so much for joining. Again, we will be back next week with some more adventures in Middle-earth, starting in December. The end of the month is going to look a little bit different with the Christmas and New Year holiday coming up, but stay tuned for that on what the actual plan is going to be. But until next week, or this weekend for me for Everlast, I will see you guys later. May the road go ever onward and onward. Bye, everybody.